TFA fam, what is up? What is happening? It is week 1. We are on the eve of the NFL season kicking off. Rams-Bills game. You know, it's been a good week. It's been a good week for TFA. A lot of support. Love to see it. But we are back with our first week 1 start-sit, where we are here to answer every single question you guys may have to get you guys ready for your matchup. So let's just get right into it. We already got a lot of questions in the chat, things you love to see. CHB first. Yes, you were. Justin, Saquon or Lenny? Both hard matchups. One, Justin, how do you have to decide between both? I mean, that's you think you'd be good to go with just, you'd be able to start both of them. But here we are. So, Robbie, Saquon or Lenny? And Justin, if you're in here, it is helpful to tell us if it's PPR, standard, half point PPR, to be able to make a better decision. It's hard to make it a call whenever we don't really know.
Yeah, I think that's the first thing for people watching is, if you can, give us the most amount of detail that you can, because it helps us make the decisions right. He's talking about PPR versus non-PPR. If you have multiple positions that you're starting, can we start one of them in the flex? Kind of maybe give us the other running backs that you would sit, or the wide receivers you would sit if you're starting this person. That'll really help us kind of get the full picture so we can give you our best advice possible. But with these two right here, Kev, I know you and I are really lockstep with Saquon love here, and I think I'm going to take him over Leonard Fournette. Fournette gets the Cowboys here. Barkley gets the Titans, and we saw Harold Landry go out for those Titans. So you've already been really down on this Titans team. With Harold Landry going out, it's only going to get worse. I know he's more of the pass rush specialist than the run stopper, but it's not good news for their defense. I'm going to go with Saquon over Lenny, but you're trying to start both if you can, Justin. So would love to hear if there's a way to also get Fournette to start.
Yeah, absolutely. I would slightly lean towards Saquon as well. It's very close between the two of them. We know how much Lenny is going to be involved in the passing game, but as for Saquon as well, I mean, he's probably not. I mean, he could see 75-80% of the opportunities in his back, but there's just nobody else there to take any touches away from him. And I feel like this is a good matchup for them, against Tennessee. And I'm not really all that worried about Tennessee's defense. So I just slightly lean towards Saquon. So I have them like back to back in my rankings. So. Kyle, happy week 1 TFA. Yes. Happy to see you here. Kyle, Crab Gravy, 12-team double flex PPR league. So do I start Rashad Penny or AJ Dillon the second flex spot? For me, it's AJ Dillon.
Yeah, I think so. The tricky part here is who else is going to be involved for Seattle, right? Are we going to see the Rashad Penny that we saw the last 4 or 5 weeks of the season, where he's just kind of running ramshot, albeit there were some easier matchups than what he has against Denver's defense here in week 1. So we don't love the matchup. Rashad Penny's kind of coming off a hamstring. I haven't dove in to see if he's back to practicing in full, but he's kind of coming back off another injury himself. But I agree with you. When we look at what could happen in these two matchups, I think AJ Dillon is the one I'm going to pick out of these two. But just with some of that excitement and the potential for AJ Dillon to score a touchdown, it sounds like Al Nazard might be trending towards not playing. And man, it really feels like I can start both Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon and feel confident about both of them getting enough work between the both of them where you could roll both of them out for sure.
Yeah, I'm going AJ Dillon here too. I think this could be a shootout between the Vikings and the Packers here. The Vikings defense is not very good. Last year they were pretty bad. They didn't really do a ton to upgrade the defense. So I really like AJ Dillon. I think he gets a lot of the goal line work, and while Aaron Jones mixes in with obviously some of that as well as pass catching work. So I like AJ Dillon. I just think it's a terrible matchup for Rashad Penny. The Broncos defense has been improved. It is very good, and I'm just nervous about that matchup. And I mean, this is the Russ obviously revenge game as well. Do the Broncos just absolutely annihilate the Seahawks? I think that's definitely in the range of possibilities, which would game script Rashad Penny right out of the game. So
correct.
That would just be my concern there. So
yeah, I think we got to know a little bit that there's been some hype about Travis Homer playing on third downs over a Rashad Penny, and so I think that's something we do need to monitor when we're looking at, hey, can Rashad Penny be that guy who's just on the field 24/7? Might be some pushback, even if we don't see Walker come back week 1, 2, 3. they might get these other two backs involved in Homer and DJ Dallas to a certain extent.
Yeah, and we have to remember too. I mean, just really quickly before we move on to the next one, that Rashad Penny last year in that stretch of games that he had where he just went absolutely nuclear and won people leagues, he only had 8 targets that entire time. So it's not like he was ever really targeted, which is kind of weird because coming out of college, he was actually a decent pass catcher. So I'm surprised they didn't or haven't used him more in that way. But regardless of that's just another feather I think in AJ Dillon's cap because we know he'll be involved in the passing game to some extent. Josh. Happy to see you back here. What's up, guys? Need 2 standard Waddle, Brandon Cooks, or Damian Pierce.
Kev, I'm going to let you go first here. I think I have an inkling of where you might go.
Yeah, I definitely am going to go Damian Pierce, especially in a standard league. I think it's definitely more inclined to go Damian Pierce. And this is where it gets tough for the other one. I'm going to go with Jalen Waddle.
Over Brandon Cooks. Okay. Interesting. If there's one person I want on the Texans team, it's Brandon Cooks for me. I get the standard argument. Yep, you always are going to favor the running back a little bit more. But, man, I don't know how much they're going to be running the ball in this matchup. You want to talk about really tough week 1 matchups. It's Damian Pierce going against the Colts run defense. Shaq Leonard, formerly known as Darius Leonard, going by Shaq Leonard now. He is practicing in full and should be manning the middle of that defense. I don't like this matchup at all for Damian Pierce, who I think is a little bit overrated currently. So I'm probably starting Brandon Cooks and then Waddle alongside of him.
I don't have any really concern with Damian Pierce. I think that, there's been a lot of arguing with him about, he's going to be in a bad offense. Well, we saw James Robinson in a really bad offense at the Jaguars his rookie year, and he went off. The question is he going to get the same type of, because he pretty much got all the work in that backfield. It really was pretty much him. And I'm not expecting that. I'm not expecting that he's going to get 80% of the opportunities, but I definitely think he can get 65% of the opportunities in this backfield for sure. I'm not really all that concerned with Rex Burkhead. Rex Burkhead is going to take some away in the passing game, but Damian Pierce is actually a good pass catcher. So I like Damian Pierce a lot. But I just, in a standard league, I feel a little bit better about going with a running back being able to punch one in the end zone, versus some of those guys. So
yeah,
I think that's really what comes down to me. If it was PPR, it'd probably be a little bit different. But I right now I have Damian Pierce ranked 20th.
Yeah, it's just the implied total for the Texans is 19 points. I think they're 5th lowest. And so it's hard to bank on Damian Pierce to score in a rough offense. Sure, you give me the example of James Robinson, but I don't know if we quite have that same dynamic here with Rex Burkhead, probably taking a decent amount of the third down / passing down work. And then if you're kind of nervous about a touchdown every other week, every third week, this is just not the matchup to try and force a Damian Pierce to play. I know he's gotten a lot of the hype. Matt gets cut. We want to throw him in there. We think he's going to be that guy. Wait for a better matchup is where I would caution people.
Yeah. Walito, appreciate the super chat. Where's the Christmas at? It's not, we're not quite there yet, Walito.
This is week 1, Walito. Whoa.
Yeah. I mean, it's waiting. It's waiting to be brought out, but we are getting close. And Robbie, I hope you're ready to lose in the listener league. We'll see what happens. We'll see what goes on there.
Well, my goal one is to do better than Cody, who got last, and Kev, who got 3rd to last. So
I got 7th.
7th? Okay. I'm just trying to make the playoffs, and then anything else is gravy.
I will say I got 7th though because 3 weeks I never even set up my lineup.
Hey, that's
I'm not good. I'm not good at free stuff. I should care more.
You could have won a TFA T-shirt, man. What are you talking about? Free?
Well, I mean, I can buy those, right? So, anyways, you didn't have Tua in your QB rankings. Should I start Winston over Tua at QB2? We didn't. In our top 20.
He probably would have snuck in there. I got him at 16 probably, but I have Winston over Tua, absolutely.
Yeah, because I have Tua right now at 20. So if you have him at 16, I don't know how he wouldn't have been. Unless Cody has him
Cody maybe didn't do the full screenshot. I don't know what he did in our Discord. For those of you who are not in our Discord, make sure you jump in. We can toss that link in the chat. Just give me a minute here and I will do that. But we have our rankings posted. We talk about Dynasty. We talk about redraft. We talk about DFS. We talk about Devi, general questions, rate my team. Who should I start? Who should I pick up? All those questions can be answered. The Discord is blowing up. We've had, what do you think, Kev, 10, 15 people join us over the last couple of days. Got a lot of conversation. I can't even keep up with all of it. So love the interactions there. Make sure you guys jump in. Link will be coming in the comments shortly.
Yeah. No, I would go Winston over Tua. I just love this matchup for Jameis Winston. I have Jameis Winston at 15, just behind Derek Carr. It's this. You couldn't ask for a better week 1 matchup against Atlanta. Atlanta's defense is terrible. I don't mind Tua but but this is a little bit different matchup against the Patriots. I'm not as nervous about the Patriots defense though, with J.C. Jackson gone there from that, from that secondary. So I do think that we could see Tua do very well as well. But I like some of the other quarterbacks that I have ahead of him. Guys like Kirk Cousins, Jameis, Matt Ryan, Justin Fields, all ahead of him. So I don't mind them, but I would definitely go with Winston in that matchup that they have against Atlanta.
Yep, same.
Kyle, trying to determine my flex this week between Mooney and Damian Harris. Leaning Mooney. Yeah, I'm definitely Team Mooney.
Yeah, I will agree with that. Man, I don't know what to make about this Patriots offense, and I feel like we're going to find out here in the first couple of weeks. Matt Patricia offense has been looking really rough, according to beat writers. And when beat writers are saying the offense looks rough, it does, because there's almost always a little bit of a positive slant when it's come from the hometown beat writers. But man, you have not heard that. We had training camp dialed in. People are just not positive on this Patriots offense as they've kind of reimagined what this run game looks like.
Yeah. I don't know. Can you blame them though? Because I mean, they have done nothing. I mean, even though they spent a ton of money on their wide receivers, they actually didn't really add anybody. Like I don't know. Like it's just I question a lot if Bill Belichick should still be like the GM of this team. Because like that's what he's been doing, and like he hasn't done a very good job at being a GM, adding any weapons to this offense to help anybody. So, anyways, football is back. Yes, it is. Ashton, love to see you here. Let's go TFA. Our ma'am Tam. I know you're saying that. Usually that's Cody's line. Is back in the chat. Hello, guys. Thanks for the great videos. We appreciate you so far. Look forward to a new season. Please pick flex Juju or Bateman. Half-point PPR. My starters are Pittman and A-Rob. So this would have came down to what was going to happen with Chris Godwin, but it sounds like Chris Godwin he was a full go today in practice. Correct. So if he's a full go, then I was
wondering where we're going. Where's Godwin fitting into
I was thinking Julio when I read that. That's where my head was at.
All good.
This is definitely Juju. Definitely Juju.
Yeah, and so Mahomes comes out with a statement, says, "Hey, fantasy football players, I'm sorry, but it's going to be frustrating. There's going to be a different wide receiver each and every week that's going off." That might be true, but I think a majority of the weeks it's going to be Juju, and he's going to be the leading wide receiver on this team with one of the best quarterbacks in the league, if not the best. So I got to roll Juju out week one and just see what happens. If he has 2 or 3 weeks where he's just not getting it done, let's pivot. But it's really hard. I mean, this is a 53.5 point over-under. And you're telling me after Kelsey, who's most likely to score for the Chiefs through the air? I mean, it's got to be Juju. So I'm rolling with Juju over Bateman, who I do like. I do like Bateman, but give me Juju.
And you got to love those wide receivers with Bateman and A-Rob. Or Pittman and A-Rob.
Oh, man. It's juicy. I mean, you got Pittman, who you and I think Cody, we all have as 10. You moved all the way to like top 6. You're getting wild with it, which I'm a fan of. And then A-Rob, you and I both like him. Cody's super high on him, top 12. And then I'm right there with Juju as well. So love that, Tam.
Yeah, excellent job. That was some excellent work there with drafting. So Justin said it was a PPR. Okay, so does that change anything with what his Saquon or Lenny? Does that change anything for you?
Not a ton. I mean, Rachaad White's been getting some work there. Let's see how much he invades Leonard Fournette's pass work. Because I don't think they want to give him the full work. We've heard reports where they want to dial back Leonard Fournette's overall snap count a little bit. So I think, if anything, that maybe helps Barkley a little bit. But yeah, it doesn't really move the needle for me a whole ton.
I do want to ask too, Justin, if you're still in here as well. What's the rest of your team look like? Because why can't we start both? Like, I'm assuming maybe you drafted somebody in the first, I would think, and maybe you drafted Saquon in the second, Lenny in the first, or Lenny in the second, Saquon in the third. But why can't we start? And do we have a flex option that we could possibly start him in? Yeah. So that would help too, because maybe there's some other options there that maybe we could get all these guys in there. So Mark Maloney back rocking with us. Love to see you here, Mark. Deontay or Gabe Davis? I feel like we've gotten a ton of Gabe Davis questions too, by the way, this week.
Deontay, very limited. Essentially, like just did work on the sideline, so he got the limited, but really didn't do anything. His shoulder's still banged up from that last preseason game, I believe. So we need to keep an eye on Deontay even going this week. Regardless, I'm going to go Gabe Davis. That over-under, again, looking juicy. We have a 52.5 game point over-under game with the Bills and Rams tomorrow. Ramsey most likely going on on Diggs there, right? So yeah, give me some Gabe Davis.
So if this is the same team, because he also has Juju or Bateman, so we obviously already answered that. We're going to go Juju. But if you were to, I don't know if these are other options that we could go with.
Special appearance.
My dog, just thinking you can do whatever you want. I don't know if these are separate teams, but if you had to choose between, I guess, all four of these options, which would you go? How would
Man,
you
that gets close. That gets close. I'm probably going Juju than Gabe Davis. Do you lean one way or the other, or are you still up there with Deontay? Let's say
Yeah, I would. I have Deontay at 15 this week.
Okay.
So I would go Deontay, and then I would go Juju and then Gabe. But it's very close because I have Bateman last of this group. Now I don't know if these may be two different teams, so there may be two different options. May not be able to choose, but for me it would be Deontay, and then it would be Juju. I would choose, but. And then Gabe would be third, but it's very close because I really like Gabe Davis a lot. Especially, I think this game tomorrow night could be an absolute barn burner between these two teams.
Get me excited. Get me excited.
NFL did well with scheduling this game being the opening schedule Thursday night game. So
yeah.
Jacob B. Vaughn, Elijah Moore, Godwin, Daryl Henderson, half PPR, my second flex. This is Godwin.
Hey,
if
don't toss away. Don't toss away a good revenge game narrative with a little Joe Flacco taking on the Baltimore Ravens, baby. Could fire up Elijah Moore. Who knows? I'm with you there. Chris Godwin. It is crazy if he's a full go, man. That's what the reports have said. I'm always kind of hesitant on that because we saw with Barkley, hey, he's coming back. We had different maybe vibes where he's still working at getting back, progressing, right? Maybe more of J.K. Dobbins, how he's not full go right now. But, man, that timeline is just so quick. But, yeah, between those three options, I'm going to go Godwin out of those three. Yep.
Yeah. So, Eric, happy to see you back here. Let's go, TFA fam. Happy to have you back. I have Debo and Sutton as my wide receivers this week, but I need to choose between Michael Thomas or Chris Godwin to flex. Again, same with me. I'm going Chris Godwin.
Yeah, I mean, Michael Thomas is limited in practice. He hurt his hamstring, a week and a half ago, came back for like a week and a half after 2 years off with the ankle. A week and a half into it, hurts his hamstring. He's limited in practice. Probably going to play, but I'll go Godwin. I might rank Chris Olave over Michael Thomas week 1. I don't know if that's hot takey, but I'm really leaning towards it.
I already have it. So I already have Chris Olave ahead of him. So.
You're ahead of the game. I love how you just jumped up front in the passenger seat with me, hanging out on the Olave train. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, we got to be fluid. We got to adjust. So, Kyle, I drafted New England defense. Thoughts on him this week against Miami? And then Cincinnati and Washington are available in my league.
I like both Cincinnati and Washington better. Washington gets Jacksonville. Cincinnati gets Pittsburgh, Mitch Trubisky. I like both of those options. Honestly, I like Miami's defense over New England's defense in that matchup. And I bet Miami's out there too. Those three teams, Miami, Cincy, and Washington, are probably the three defenses that have good matchups that probably aren't already drafted in your league.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't roster New England. I'm not doing it.
Nope.
Derek, appreciate the super chat.
Thank you.
My first team, 10 team full PPR. Quarterback, you have Derek Carr, Fournette, Chubb, Pollard, Penny, McKissick, A.J. Dillon. Wide receiver, Adams, Michael Thomas, Judy, Ayuk, Lockett, Olave, and Patty Fry.
I wish one of the quarterback or tight end was a little bit higher than what you have. You know what I mean? Like the Carr I would rank as my QB 14-ish. Patty Fry, probably my tight end 12-ish, maybe 11-ish. It's like neither of those. I would love in a 10 team for you to have a dominant quarterback, like a top 5, top 4 quarterback, or a dominant tight end. And he doesn't have either. So then you really have to make up for that at your running back or wide receiver. And he has good options, but I don't know if he has the elite options to make up for what he's going to be behind in his quarterback scoring and his tight end scoring. I would love to just upgrade one of those positions, or else you're playing from behind at both of those, and your running back and wide receiver have to make up for it. What do you think, Kev?
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of volatility too in the wide receivers because I'm not as high on Devonte Adams as some people are. I don't think he's going to be like a bust or anything this year, but I just don't. So I don't think he has the ceiling as some of the elite options. And then you have Michael Thomas, which I don't know. Like, could go so many different directions with all the injuries that he's suffered. Now he's already, has a compensation injury with this, this hamstring that he's got. And then you got Judy, which I think could be a top 24 wide receiver, but he's also never broken out. Tyler Lockett, I don't love as as an option because this offense is not very good. But I do really like the Ayuk pick. Obviously, love Chris Olave.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a lot of I think there could be a lot of upside here. This could really turn out very well for you with the wide receivers you have. But I could see another direction where you're really upset. And then at the running back position, I like Fournette, especially in PPR. Obviously, Chubb's not as enticing, in a PPR league, but he's still a top 13, 14 running back on most weeks. So you're still going to be okay with that. And then Pollard, golden ticket, Penny, I think could work out. McKissick is whatever, but then I love how you rank AJ Dillon last among these running backs when he is certainly well ahead of most of these guys. Could end up being, again, he could end up being a monster steal if he's kind of in that same vein of a Tony Pollard. If something happens there to Jones, it is wheels up for AJ Dillon. So I think overall, I think it's a solid team. I think you're going to want to maybe make some upgrades along the way, but what team doesn't, whenever you start. So anyways, Ashton, start 2, flex 2 and 3, full PPR, Hollywood Brown, Kareem Hunt, Bateman, Woods, Ayuk, or Russell Gage. So for me, I'm locking in Hollywood Brown against the Chiefs. And then,
walk me through. We're starting 2 and then we're flexing 2. What's the and 3 then? I think, are we saying we're starting 2, flex 2? I don't know where the and 3 comes in at. But if I'm picking my top, I'll just rank them and that'll make it the easiest. Hollywood. Then I'll go Bateman, Woods, Ayuk, Hunt, Gage.
I would go Hollywood, Bateman, Kareem Hunt, Ayuk, Gage, then Woods.
Oh, so down on Bobby Woods. Always slept on.
He's 40, coming off an ACL. Aquaman. I can't do it.
You gotta do better than that.
Yeah, that's Cody's. That's Cody's. I'm sorry, Aqua. I like that. That's Cody's thing. I can't do it. Would you drop KJ Hamler for Dotson? Yeah, I think you can do that. I don't mind doing that.
You've 180'd on Olave. I've 180'd on Dotson, man. Like, I think he's going to be really close to TMC in scoring. I don't think he outscores Terry McLaurin, but I think he's going to be right there, man. I'm really liking Dotson. I would do that. Yeah,
and I think he could be a guy kind of like Cody said in the wide receiver video, that he could be a guy that everyone's rushing to add. So yes. I think being ahead of market, I think is smart. So
yes.
Anyways, Mark, I have Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon. So I look to trade one of them. My receivers are Sutton, Deontay, Bateman, Boyd, and McKenzie. I think your wide receivers are fine. I love Sutton. We all have him. I think me and you have him as a top 12 option for sure. And then, so I think you're fine there. And then Deontay, I think he's going to be okay. I wouldn't expect the same 160 targets he saw last year, but I think he can make up for some of those very short routes that he was running last year. I think he could get more down the field looks. I think he's a better down the field wide receiver that people know or expect. I think Matt Harmon in his reception perception has done a really good job of looking at all that. He's actually just overall excellent, route runner. And I think he can win all quadrants of the field. So I'm not really all that concerned with that. But overall, if you wanted to trade one of them, I think you could, but I'm not actively just going to go out and okay, I have to trade one of these guys.
Yeah. I don't normally like carrying both running backs on a team. Some people try and do that. I think it just limits your upside. Only one of them is going to score, or get that handoff or that catch. There's certain situations where it works out. We think about the Vikings, right? Every time Dalvin Cook goes down, Alexander Madison is kind of that guy that plugs in almost to a 1-to-1, not quite, but really close. And so there's a few exceptions, but yeah, eventually I would look to trade one of those two, and you'll probably get more off of whoever pops first, right? You'll get more if Aaron Jones pops first or AJ Dillon has that touchdown week 1. I think you can pivot and maybe trade that one. See who the rest of the running back room looks like. I'm not just trading one to trade one because I don't want to be weak at running back. That's for sure.
Yeah. Brandon, appreciate the super. I'm guessing that because you did have a question here, so we'll jump over to this.
Yeah.
Appreciate the super chat as always. So we got a 10-man standard PPR. Starters of Lamar, Swift, Barkley, DJ Moore, Justin Jefferson, like that. Still struggling on who to start at flex. I have A-Rob, Elijah Mitchell, Elijah Moore, Rashad Bateman, and Rashad Penny. Nice team. Very nice.
Love it.
So is this? Oh, it's PPR. Okay, when he said it's 10-man
Standard PPR.
it threw me off.
PPR is the standard. I love
Yeah, no,
that.
it is now. Yes.
Nice job, Brandon. Way to start setting the terminology correct.
Yes.
It's pretty easy for me. I'm going to go A-Rob here.
Yeah, it's Allen Robinson.
Yep.
I don't want it to be that easy because I really like Elijah Mitchell, but I don't know. Like,
it sounds like they are not going to use one back. And I know we've always had this perception that Kyle Shanahan doesn't use one back because there's been so many injuries that he does. Like when there's a starting running back in the 49ers system, they get 18 touches a game. It sounds like he's moving away from that because they want to keep Elijah Mitchell healthy. He's already been nicked up this preseason. He was injured 5 different times last year. There's a lot of talk all the way down to Jordan Mason, their UDFA running back. It sounds like they're going to try and use a handful of backs. Jeff Wilson's probably going to be that next man up. So I've lowered Elijah Mitchell. I know you were really high on him. I've kind of backed off a little bit. So yeah, A-Rob for me.
Yeah, but I will say this in like camp, and there's been a ton of reports that he's still locked in as the guy, and they expect him to be that guy.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I mean, obviously, the health is the biggest thing for him.
No doubt.
Just stay healthy, man. Can we just stay healthy, Elijah?
Any running back in the 49ers, like there's something in the water there. There's something with Kyle Shanahan. He takes the health power from him. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. What's up? A couple start questions. Start 1, half PPR. Waddle, Cooks, and Monty. Start 2, full PPR. McLaurin, A-Rob, and Deontay. Okay. So let's start with a half-point PPR first. You have start 1. You have Waddle, Cooks, or Monty.
Yeah, Cooks for me.
I'm going to go Waddle.
And Waddle's at limited practice, so ramping up. He's been out for a little bit here, but most likely will play. Yeah, give me Cooks there, and then start 2, full PPR. McLaurin, A-Rob, Deontay. Give me A-Rob and Deontay.
Agreed. And that could be answered for you if something were to, for some reason if Deontay didn't play, so you wouldn't have to worry about it.
Yep.
Really quickly, rank my second team, full PPR. Dak, CMC, James Conner, Gibson, Hunt, Lamb, Hollywood Brown, Brandon Cooks, Gabe Davis, Ayuk, Gage, Josh Palmer, Pitts. This team is much better. Really like this team. I don't know where you took Antonio Gibson, but you did very well with that. Probably took him much later than what he should have been because of the injury, or because of the, obviously the unfortunate situation that happened with Brian Robinson. And then wide receivers, I think, are very nice too. Love CeeDee Lamb, Hollywood, Cooks. You have a lot of depth here with Gage, Ayuk, and Joshua. I love Joshua Palmer. I think he's going to end up being a guy that goes off this year. I really like Josh Palmer.
Yeah, man. I think he's strong at every position. We're flipping from his first team where I want some strengths as quarterback or tight end. Dak's probably going to be in that 8 to 10 range, a little bit different with no Cooper. Some of his weapons gone, but Pitts, top 3, top 4, top 5 tight end. You have CMC, James Conner, Gibson, plenty of talent there. And then he probably has 4 top 24-ish, maybe top 26-ish wide receivers. So I really like this team, Derek. Nicely done.
Yeah, and appreciate the super chat once again. All right,
yeah, man.
Let's try to move through some of these because we got quite a few, and I don't want people to stay here forever. Anthony traded Miles Sanders for Ramondre Stevenson. Curious to hear your thoughts on that.
I think I might differ for you. You're the Miles Sanders guy for TFA. If there's one thing I take away from preseason, I tried not to buy too much into the preseason hype. Ramondre Stevenson has looked good, and I think they're going to work him in a lot more than people think. I think Damien Harris will be the lead back, but I think as the weeks go on, Stevenson will take more and more. He catches the ball a little bit more, or a lot more than Damien Harris has in the past. Miles Sanders, man, I don't like that backfield that Sirianni runs. He's going to have Gainwell involved. He's going to have Boston Scott involved. There's never going to be a game where you're like, Miles Sanders is the guy. Whereas I feel like at some point Stevenson absolutely could. So give me Stevenson there. I like that trade.
Yeah, it's tough. I kind of agree. I love Stevenson, like something that I've been on, but Miles Sanders is so volatile. And I actually think he's an actually really good running back. It's just and this is a contract year for him because he will be a free agent after this year, and they did not pick up his 5th-year option, so he will be a free agent after this year. So he kind of has the ball. So we'll see if maybe he tries to play through some of these injuries that maybe he picks up because he's already been a little banged up already. He's definitely, in my opinion, the best running back they have in Philadelphia, but it won't matter if he's in a full-on committee. Where I think Ramondre Stevenson, though, it does worry me with Ramondre Stevenson just a little because we know how the Patriots, like to do the same things. But I think that it's a much clearer path for him to be able to do that. And I also think he could end up being the pass catching back here as well. So we'll see on that. But yeah, I don't mind the trade. I think it's fine. Full PPR, I'm going to go Miles Sanders here. I say all that to say this.
I know.
I love the matchup for Detroit. They get Detroit this week, and so I'm going Miles Sanders.
Yep. I agree there. Who do you got as your top QB for week 1? I will go first while you look. I have Jalen Hurts. I think that this is going to be a matchup that we know the lines are going to be better. They obviously have Aiden Hutchinson rushing the quarterback. They've got Jeff Okudah back being healthy. We'll see if he's ever going to live up to that 3rd overall pick he was. I don't think he will, especially after the injury. But they've got some pieces on defense that they're getting better. But maybe that just means that they stay in the game, and we still have to see Hurts throw. So I really, really like Hurts. I know that's kind of a hot take. Someone's going to have Allen or Herbert and Mahomes, 1, 2, 3 probably. But give me Jalen Hurts because I really like his potential week 1.
That is actually not how I have it. Patrick Mahomes 1, so I do have Mahomes 1, but I have Jalen Hurts 2, and then I have Lamar Jackson 3, and then Josh Allen 4, and Justin Herbert 5.
We're right there then. I have Hurts and then Lamar Jackson. If you told me, hey, I want Lamar to be 1, Hurts to be 2, I wouldn't argue too much with you there. So they're 1 and 2 for me.
Yeah, but I do know somebody here that has Patrick Mahomes at 7, so I don't know why that is. That's weird. Just get me wrong. There's so much fodder for the Chiefs. Anyways, I'm not going to get into all that. But there's so much fodder for the Chiefs this offseason. Just so many people saying that they're dead and that they're not going to make the playoffs and all this other ridiculousness. So, anyways, Alexander, we're here for you guys, not for my takes on the Chiefs. Thoughts on my team: 10-man superflex, Trey Lance, Mac Jones, Jonathan Taylor, James Conner, Montgomery, James Cook, Hines, Algier, Lamb, Debo, Godwin, Schultz, Gabe Davis, Ayuk, Olave, Chris Watson.
Did he list? Oh, yeah. Schultz is the tight end there.
Yeah. So, love Lance. Absolutely love that. Mac Jones, I would want an upgrade at quarterback. I don't think they're going to throw the ball enough. I don't think this offense is going to be explosive. And for a second quarterback, I would try to go get like Justin Fields or something like that for week 1 because I think some of these guys' stock is going to really rise. Even like a Trevor Lawrence, I think would be a better option. Matt Ryan would be a better option. That's not going to cost a ton right now. I just don't love Mac Jones as my second quarterback in a super flex.
Yeah, man. I think you could pivot. Your wide receivers are so strong. I think
or even like what about a Jared Goff? Because I really like Jared Goff. Like
more than
Mac.
Like
in a super flex. Yeah.
More than Mac. Yeah. I think you're aiming for, if you can, a Matt Ryan level who's a much better version of Mac, where Mac mostly didn't kill you last year, but he didn't ever throw 3 touchdowns, 300 yards. I think the upgraded wouldn't be too expensive. It's kind of Matt Ryan. I like your Justin Fields thought. I just don't know if most people would move a Justin Fields. But if you can throw in one of these wide receivers with a Mac Jones, upgrade as much as you can there for your quarterback too. I think that's what you need to do to make this team where you want him. Let's go here. 12-team full point PPR. Are you going Singletary or Patterson for Anthony H?
I'm going to go Cordero Patterson.
Yeah, I mean, it's close. I'm pulling up where I got him. I've got Patterson a decent amount ahead. Yeah, I got Patterson.
Yeah. Aiden, welcome back. Hey, guys, DJ Moore, James Conner, Allen Robinson. Thanks. I'm going to go DJ Moore.
Yeah, absolutely. DJ Moore, the only thing that's holding him back is touchdowns. And Baker Mayfield has a much higher touchdown percentage throwing the football than the previous quarterbacks for DJ Moore. I think this could be a sneaky good year.
I will ask, though, because not playing James Conner feels rough. I would hate to sit James Conner too. Actually, I don't want to sit any of these guys. I really like all three of them. Aiden, who else the hell do you have in your team, man, that we can't start any like James Conner or Allen Robinson? Like, what's the rest of your team look like so I can kind of gauge this here?
Yeah.
Because, man, not playing James Conner, because, I mean, it could be a really good match. The Chiefs struggled against the run at times last year. Now the Chiefs have made improvements in this defense. This defense is going to be a little bit different than what we've seen in years past. But I don't know. So let us know, Aiden. What does the rest of your team look like that you can't start these guys?
Yep. Hold on, Kev. You got your boy D-Bro getting excited. We're not jumping past the start sit tonight, but a little preview. Got some DFS tomorrow.
I am going to own. I am going to just listen, D-Bro. I want to make you my bitch. Okay, like let you know it's coming tomorrow night, D-Bro. Everybody can tune in to DFS DJ Nation. D-Bro is going to be joining me and Maddie for week 1. Talk about it. So better get ready, D-Bro, because I always win.
This one you had pulled up from Nits.
Is that the one? Was that the next one?
Or did I skip?
Yeah, you think you skipped? We'll answer it real quick. I guess I don't know. I think some of it, probably sites, make some adjustments on, certain news that may come out. But the first thing to understand is, if this is your first year playing fantasy football, is never worry about your projected points ever.
Nope.
Because they're often wrong. A lot of the stuff that they do are crazy. It's fun to look at, whatever, and I get it because you kind of look at it, you're like, oh man, I'm projected to lose this week, or whatever, right? Like it doesn't matter at all. I would be really actually curious to know like how like on a week to week basis if anybody tracks that, like how accurate it actually is versus that. But no, don't worry about any of that stuff because there's so many different probably things that factor into it. It's just random when guys, will go up or down. That's not where I'd be getting my projection from.
This is the one I skipped. Sean Childs, DFS writer, I believe. Are you familiar in the DFS world, Kev? You don't have to know.
I know a lot of.
Okay, he's going to look up some Sean Childs here, Brandon. Let us know. Is
that Sports Illustrated? That's what came up here.
Could be. Brandon, let us know what you're thinking here with Sean. Let us know if Kev needs to bring him on the show, talk some DFS. All right, the Booty Warrior. Travis.
Still great name. Great name, Booty Warrior. Every time you show up,
puts a smile on your face.
Yeah, it does. Great name. I don't know how you – I mean, if you're, can't have it, like, I don't know, maybe everybody can have the same name. I don't know. But if you can't and you got this name, great name. Travis Etienne Entertainer. This is very tough for me because I like both of these running backs a lot this week. I actually think Travis Etienne is somebody that could go off this week. One, because James Robinson is expected to play, but if you believe anything that that Doug Peterson has said, that they're going to bring James Robinson along very slowly. So I don't think he's going to be all that involved in this offense. So this very well could be all Travis Etienne's backfield. And so I like him quite a bit this week. And I actually, DFS-wise, I actually think he's a great play too. He's cheap, and I think people are going to overlook him. But regardless, that him and Antonio Gibson are very close. Obviously, they are playing each other. I'm going to go with, though, Antonio Gibson.
Oh, yeah. Antonio Gibson for me.
Yeah. I think we skipped a bunch of people, though.
No way. I've been watching.
Yeah, because we were here.
Hold on.
Okay. Oh, yeah, we got to get that. Super chat. J&C Outdoors. Should I cut Gesicki and pick up Tanyan? Yes. I think you can cut Gesicki. I am not high on Gesicki at this point. Everything that's come out about him, that they're trying to make him a run-blocking tight end, I don't know why. He is not an inline blocker, never has been. He is a move tight end. So I think you could. I would pick him up for Alberto. I really like Alberto, especially with the Greg Dulcich injury, Tim Patrick injury.
Yeah, Tim Patrick. I think Tim Patrick going out is what really makes me excited there. So, yep, I would cut Gesicki there.
All right, now we're back to where we were. If Lazard doesn't play, Gage, Wan'Dale Robinson, Bell.
Is that a David Bell?
David Bell.
David Bell questions. Let's go.
KJ Hamler. Is this week 1 or is this week 10?
This is wherever the bipocalypse is this week or this year.
I think it's like week 9. Dude, I have so many teams that like just loaded with week 9 buys. I don't even care. Anyways, so with this one, I'm gonna go with
I want to as well, man. I do. Gage just has so much cold water poured on him with Godwin practicing in full. They signed Julio. Oh, man, it's tough to roll out Gage week 1, even against Dallas. I'm going to go Wandale.
Yeah. Hey, for all the monies. Killer Quicks from Twitch. Love to see people holding it down over on Twitch. Are you guys stashing Brian Robinson? Yeah, I think you can. Have they given any update on when they think he possibly could be back? I know they said hopefully by midseason, but
yeah, I mean, originally I didn't think it was a full like midseason, like 8 weeks. I didn't hear that timeline. I thought it was more of the month to 6 weeks. Already off of crutches. I don't know exactly how much that advances the timeline, but progressing well. But I'm gonna kind of keep around that timeline of 4 to 6 weeks and see if we hear any updates from there. But yeah, I'm stashing him on an IR until I have reason not to.
Yeah. And the only thing I would say, though, is that, I mean, if Antonio Gibson balls out for the next 4 weeks, I don't think he's just all of a sudden going to lose the job to Brian Robinson. But yeah. Brian Robinson would probably work in and take some touches away, and then limits Antonio Gibson, and then just kind of throws cold water on everybody. But anyways, Anthony, also, how do you feel about this trade? I gave away D-Hop and James Cook for Mahomes. You won already. just for the Mahomes part.
Who is his other QB? Other QB is Dak.
So, yeah, I mean, you probably didn't need to make the move because you already had Dak.
But he upgraded quarterback.
Oh, a massive upgrade, in my opinion.
And James Cook is whatever to me right now. CEH is getting drafted before D-Hop. So I think you have an upgrade there, from a flex standpoint. Yeah.
So now it's so tough to trade quarterbacks because I always feel like there's always this contingent of people that are like, oh man, you have to draft a second quarterback because it's trade bait. No, it's not. Like for the most part, most people aren't going to really trade for a quarterback unless they're desperate, and that usually doesn't really happen because there's usually people on the waiver wire that are out there for them to pick up. That you're not going to be able to get this huge haul in return for a quarterback, especially in a one quarterback league. But I think it still gives you, if you wanted to, at some point, you could probably take Dak and maybe look to ship him off, especially if he starts out hot. I think you could do that. So.
Yeah. So Justin, we were asking who he would be sitting. We had Saquon and Fournette. He had Najee as his running back 1, Mike Evans at flex. I think you're sitting Lenny.
Yeah, I think you have to.
I think you're sitting Lenny. Good problem to have.
Yeah. Ronnie back with us. Need 4 and a flex. Cordell Patterson, Kareem Hunt, Aaron Jones, ETN, CEH, wide receivers, Cup, Pittman, MBS, Bobby Trees, Amon-Ra, St. Brown. So we need 4 and a flex. Okay, so we can
Aaron Jones, ETN, CEH, Patterson, and then he needs a flex.
Well, no.
Wait, okay, are we doing 2 running back? Okay, 2 running backs.
Yeah, you have to include the wide receiver. So if you include obviously Cup, we don't have to. Pittman, obviously those 2.
Cup, Pittman, Jones,
Aaron Jones, ETN,
and then I'm going CH in the flex over Trees, Amon-Ra, and Patterson and Hunt. So yeah, Cup, Pittman, Aaron Jones, ETN with CH in the flex for me.
Yeah, I agree. I want to say Amon-Ra St. Brown, but I can't. Crab. I have Chris Olave and Treylon Burks on my bench, hoping they pop his rookies. Thoughts on them? I like Chris Olave more than Treylon Burks, but I also think it's been a really kind of a roller coaster ride for Treylon Burks. He looked terrible, slow, out of shape, and then he came back and he looked great, and then all of a sudden he looked terrible again, then he looked great again. I think Chris Olave, like what we've talked about, has the path to being like the best rookie wide receiver this year. I don't think there's not really any hot take about that. But I think Treylon Burks could end up being somebody he has nobody else there, right? Now with AJ Brown got him, like who else is the person taking targets? I guess Robert Woods, but
I like Robert Woods more than you do. But yes, you would think by middle of the season he takes over as that 1, and Robert Woods slides into the 1B, which Robert Woods has been the 1B normally when he was with Cup, kind of traded back and forth there. But yeah, Chris Olave, really like his potential. Loved him as a prospect. Loved him there with Winston. I think he could be that wide receiver 1 at some point over Michael Thomas. And then Traylon Burks, really similar thing. Like I've got them really close in rankings for a season-long perspective. So like them both. Nicely done.
Well, Lito dropped the Discord in there. Thank you for that. Did we already get that? You already got this one, right? From old
Yes, sir.
B-Dub. Okay, we got that. We got that.
I think we're back down here. A little Devonte Smith or Devin Duvernay. This is the first Duvernay question we've had.
Ronnie, what? It is week 1, my guy. Like, it is definitely Devonte Smith.
Yeah. Yep.
Maybe it's like a 16-team league or something.
Yeah.
Sam, flex Bateman or DK? I'm gonna go DK.
Oh man. I just don't want to play DK.
I can make an argument against Rashad Bateman.
Yeah.
I mean, I know there's it's tough with him because like there's the path of one that yes, Hollywood Brown is gone, but this team is not going to throw the ball nearly as much as they did last year. They're going to be much more in that probably 50-50 split of run to pass. And with that drop, like people are going to take a hit. And you know what? As much as I love Rashad, as much as I like Rashad Bateman still has never. He was not very good last year. He was very, very average.
Lost preseason in first 6 weeks with core injury.
But at the same time, there is the path of him being the only wide receiver there. But obviously, Mark Andrews, we know, is the number one target in that offense. And this is a very low volume pass offense where I think you look at Seattle's always going to be playing from behind. And so they're probably going to throw the ball more. And then you look at the numbers, albeit a small sample size with Geno Smith last year, DK Metcalf was definitely the preferred option in that, among the pass catchers. I think he averaged almost 20 fantasy points a game with Geno Smith last year. I like him more. I mean, obviously, comparing the two of them, DK Metcalf is far and away the better player, right?
Correct.
And I think even still, he's on a bad team. I still think that one of these guys is going to be fantasy relevant for Seattle, and I bet on DK. And so I just think him after the catch, I mean, he could find his way to the end zone. I just prefer DK Metcalf.
I think DK is your more boomer bust play because I think when he scores or he catches, he's going to be down the field where Bateman's more your possession guy. Why I'm so interested in Bateman is, they're going to pass less. Absolutely. Ravens are going to pass less than last year. No question about it. But Lamar Jackson's going to be back to his efficient. He was horribly inefficient last year as a passer because they didn't have a running game. He's going to be back. Maybe not 20. What was his MVP season? 2019. Maybe not 2019 efficient, but I expect him to throw probably close to 30, 32 touchdowns, even if they don't pass a lot. And I don't expect Geno to throw more than, 18, right? Like, I don't think DK scores a lot. Whereas Bateman, I agree. Andrews is probably going to have his 10 to 12. Who's most likely after that to have some touchdowns? It's probably going to be Bateman. So on a week to week, I'm probably going to have Bateman higher. They're close for me. I'll go Bateman, but I'm fine if you go either way.
Oh, you're gonna not like this. Kadarius Toney or Godwin, which it's Godwin.
I thought you might go Kadarius. You said I wasn't going to like this. I thought you were going to toss
Well,
out
I didn't read the
Toney
second name. I just saw Kadarius Toney, and I was like, oh, you're not going to like this. And then
is Toney back to practice? I think he is.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. He's back. If Chris Godwin's practicing full, he's not. There's not going to. I mean, even so, like the snap count thing really doesn't matter that much because for the most part, if you have him out there, there's probably going to be a lot of design plays for him. You're not going to have wasted plays a lot for him, and so I'm not really that concerned. But I don't think if he was at that point where he had to be on some sort of snap count, I don't think I don't think that you even have him out there. Why risk it? It's week 1, right? So if he's good to go and he's already practicing in full on Wednesday, I think that's a lot of what you need to know. And so it is 100% Chris Godwin over Kadarius Toney.
All
right. Sam again, Gesicki or Alberto?
Agree.
I drafted Hurts tonight. Great news. Yes.
Yeah, we put him at quarterback 1. Kev has him as QB2.
And then for season long, I have him as a top 3 quarterback. That's what I had him heading into the season. I had him at QB3. So
I think I had him at QB3 as well over your boy, Mr. Patrick.
Yeah. Kyle, Dobbins, or Stevenson?
gosh, we're here. We are here with Dobbins. I think we continue to monitor what Dobbins' usage is going to be week one. I don't think it's going to be plentiful, right? I think he's going to be splitting some work with Mike Davis. Going to be splitting some work.
Have we even gotten any confirmation? I know he was limited, but I mean,
he's limited, right? So I think we continue to monitor the news. But man, I don't want to mess around with that. I don't know what is it, 10, 12 carries. We think back to his rookie year, he was getting 10, 12 carries. He was just super efficient and getting touchdowns. It just makes me nervous. Like if he doesn't score, I don't know what you get. 10 for 44, you know what I mean? Then again, what do you get with Stevenson? Is it much different?
Yeah, especially depending on the way that game goes.
I mean, I have Dobbins ahead of Stevenson, so I guess I'm saying Dobbins, but I don't love it. I'm not trying to start Dobbins if I don't have to.
Yeah, I don't love it either, especially for week one, just because I just want to see kind of how things shake out. And I mean, it might be answer for you. He may not even play, but I'd probably lean towards Dobbins.
A lot of Stevenson. People are trying to work some Stevenson in some lineups, Kev.
Singletary, Brees, or Ramondre?
Your Brees hype train has slowed down a little bit. This should have been easy for you.
No, it hasn't slowed down at all. It's just kind of what I've said is I feel like people are going to need to be a little bit patient with him. I don't think it's going to be right out the gate now. And this isn't really a great matchup against Baltimore. So
completely.
So I'm not starting Brees Hall. But what I will say is he is definitely going to be on an early list of buys for me once he doesn't really do a whole lot against Baltimore, and people are going to start panicking.
I mean, the Jets have a horrendous start to the season. I don't have it in front of me, but it is brutal. I think you can wait 4 or 5 weeks and pick him up after he split with Carter. Neither of them are doing anything. I don't know if you can look up that schedule while we're going, but I think that's the play with Brees. To answer this question, I really don't like Singletary's matchup with Aaron Donald and the Rams either. I don't think they're going to – it wouldn't surprise me if the Bills only run the ball 8, 12 times the entire game, not including Josh Allen's rushes.
Yeah, so they get the Ravens, the Browns, the Bengals, the Steelers, the Dolphins, the Packers, Broncos, Patriots, Bills, Patriots, and then you get Bears, Vikings, Bills, Lions, Jags. Like that second half of the season, oh man.
Correct.
Like that, their fantasy playoffs are amazing. Like they
Fantastic.
get the Lions, the Jags, and the Seahawks. You just gotta hold on.
You got to be patient with Brees. We're gonna get a lot of questions week 3 or 4. Should I drop Brees for X player? I know it's coming. You got to be patient. To answer this, Ramondre probably. I don't love Singletary's matchup. I think they're not going to run at all against the Rams. Brees, we just talked about. I think I need to bump Ramondre up in my rankings. I'm finding out right now.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I'd probably go Ramondre. Yeah. Pick 3, Waddle, Deontay, London, Pickens, Tony. So I'm going to go Deontay, Waddle, and Kadarius Toney.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like London's tracking well to play. I think he was very limited in practice. Pickens, it's just too risky. I think week 1, I don't know what his involvement is. He could have 3 targets for all we know. I'll take Toney there as the third wide receiver. Someone else helping us out. They're saying we were correct with Waddle Deontay, but he goes Drake London. We'll see if he plays. So the question is, Isaiah McKenzie, would you trade him away for Boyd or Gallup? I think I would for Michael Gallup. Michael Gallup sounds like he will miss 1 to 2 weeks. They did not put him on IR to miss 4 weeks. The beat reporters are saying maybe 1 or 2 weeks, and then he's back out, and he's going to slot right in there as the wide receiver 2 behind CeeDee Lamb. I'm going to go Gallup.
I don't mind that. I also really like Tyler Boyd, but he's always going to be capped unless something happens to Higgins or
Chase.
Where
That
Gallup could find himself as like a wide receiver 2 this year, rest of season.
Correct.
Where Boyd, I still think Boyd's a top 30. I think he can be easily a top 36 wide receiver this year, but he's not going to get that. He's not going to be able to get that further up than that because of the other options that are there. Still love Tyler Boyd.
Yeah. This is the same one.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's the same person, but yeah, we're really close there. I'll lean Bateman. Kev leans DK there, Sam.
Yeah. Some of these I think we already did because I'm going Alberto.
Yeah.
Like the stream. Yes, like the stream, everybody. Really appreciate it. If you're new here, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We really appreciate it as well. Damian Pierce, Breece Hall, Ramondre Stevenson, Damian Pierce. Pick one. I'm going Damian Pierce.
Yeah. I don't like any of those running backs. Yeah, Damian Pierce.
Yes, finally we got one. We got one for him. Rashena, happy to have you. I hope I said that right. I probably didn't. How did I do, guys? PPR: Wilson, Kamara, Mixon, Jefferson, McLaurin, Waller, Elijah Mitchell, bench, Ayuk, James Cook, D-Hop, Severe White. Are you sure you just didn't come in here just to like flex on us to like show you how good this team is? Because I really like this team. This team is very good.
Yeah, I really like Wilson. If you're going to get a later QB, get Russ Wilson because I think he will be a top 6-ish guy. Yeah, I really like the start. The bench is solid.
Very good running backs. Wide receivers are very good with Jefferson. Not in love with McLaurin, but that I think he's still fine. You still have Ayuk and then D-Hop as soon as he comes back. And then Mooney that I think actually is more like your wide receiver 2 in my book. But
I would agree with that, actually.
Yeah. And so then from there, Mitchell, very, very good team.
Godwin.
Love to see Jacoby Myers, but it's Godwin. I'm not about to tell anybody that.
You gotta we're gonna get you off the Jacoby Myers train. You and Debro this year.
I don't think Debro's on the Jacoby Myers train. I think he's on the terrible
Kendrick Bourne.
Yeah, Kendrick Bourne.
Oh, okay. I mixed that one up. Okay.
Yeah, I'm on Jacoby Myers, which you should be. Need help. Who to start? 10-man PPR for running back. Need 3. Mixon. Okay, we're locking him in. That's already a lock. No, we don't even have to discuss that. And then Elijah Mitchell, Harris, Pollard, A.J. Dillon, or Henderson. So for me, it is Mixon, Elijah Mitchell, and A.J. Dillon. Though I think there's a case to be made for Pollard in this.
There's a case to be made for Pollard. They're going to roll out CeeDee Lamb, Noah Brown, for anybody who knows who that is. Been on the Cowboys practice squad for like 4 years, and rookie Jalen Tolbert. We could realistically see Tony Pollard line up in the slot with Zeke in the backfield. I would not be surprised if Pollard has, especially if they're not going to run against the Bucs, right? Like, hey, they only ran it 8 times, 10 times last season in the season opener against the Bucs. They were right there until the very end, the very last drive. They were going against the Bucs. No reason to not take a similar standpoint there. I wouldn't be surprised if Pollard gets involved in the passing game. I'll probably still take Dillon as that third option, but Pollard should be right there.
Yeah. Jeffrey Lee, would you start Nyheim Hines or Marquez Valdez Scantling? Half-point PPR. I'm going to go MVS only because I just don't think in this matchup specifically, I don't think they're going to have to throw the ball a ton against unless Houston can push this pace and be able to keep this game close. Like, I don't know if he sees enough work.
Yeah. It takes one play from MVS to make that day, right? His 160-yard reception, and I don't think Hines can match it. So,
but for season long, love Nyheim Hines.
Correct.
This year. Yes.
Correct. We've been pumping him up for a while. Tons of beat reports about him. Again, going back to training camp dialed in, we had Jim Bowden was one of our first ones with the Colts. Pumped him up. We're big on Hines here.
Yeah. Playing an 8-man league, guys. CMC, Joe Mixon, Keenan Allen, Mike Pittman. Don't think I'm sitting any of those guys. Yeah, you're right. You're right. When you're right, you're right. Just wanted to make sure. Oh, wait. Did we skip?
He just wanted to ask if he was worried about on the same team having DJ Moore and CMC. Or are we worried about DJ Moore with CMC coming back? Right. So DJ Moore has got a ton of targets. You add in CMC back into the mix, who should get 100 plus targets. Are we worried about DJ Moore's target share? I believe is the question.
No, I mean they're going to throw the ball. I mean they're going to. I mean there's enough for both of them. It's not like there's really anything else past those two. I mean unless you think Robbie Anderson is still a thing, I don't. And then you have Terrace Marshall, which I wish would become a thing, but I don't think that's probably going to happen either. So I think both of them are fine with the. They can operate together and still be fine. 10-man PPR start Pierce, Dillon, or Edmonds for my RB2.
This is going to be Edmonds for me. Was limited in practice. Keep an eye on him. But this is going to be Edmonds for me.
Yeah. I'm going to go Pierce. Very close. I like all of these guys. I just have Pierce. For me, it goes Pierce, Edmonds, then Dillon, but they're all within 5 of each other.
Yeah, I'm pretty clearly Edmonds. I have him as a top 20 guy. Dillon scratches the top 24, and then Pierce right outside.
Mr. TikTok. In my 10-man PPR league, I have starting Cousins, Mixon, Chubb, Jefferson, Adams, Davis, Schultz, Jacobs, Lawrence, and Colts defense.
Another really good team. I think Cousins is going to kind of level up back to – he had like a top 6 year back with the then Washington Redskins. He had a top 6 year. When he gets the volume, his passing TD percentage rate has always been fantastic. If he can just get the volume with Kevin O'Connell, I think that's a guy we need to keep an eye on, is Kirk Cousins, not just being this like low-end QB1, but, hey, he's kind of right there in the middling QB1 range. Also, love the name. We've had a lot of good names from the folks here in the chat. Mr. TikTok, solid name.
Yeah, and if you believe, was it Michael Irvin that picked him to be MVP this year? So
did he really?
Yeah, pick Kirk Cousins. Yeah,
not the first wild thing Michael Irvin has ever said.
Yeah, but really like this team overall. Very, very well done. So
yep,
wide receivers solid running backs. Yeah, good all across the board. So rate 10-team PPR: Burrow, Kamara, Breece Hall, Chase, Keenan Allen, Flex, Higgins, Lazard, Mike Davis. Okay. So,
stack.
Yeah, but the problem is here. So there's a couple. The only issue that I have with this team would be your running
super
backs.
Stack. The super stack with Chase and Higgins.
Yeah, that's true. But I think that can be okay. But the drafting 2 quarterbacks ended up hurting you because it looks like you have a limited bench, and you have all these. So you have the quarterback taking up a spot. Then you have Mike Davis, who has probably no upside. I know people wanted to run out and pick him up. With kind of the J.K. Dobbins stuff. But you also have Kenyon Drake there now. So, he probably has no upside in my mind. So, I think you could probably just drop him, honestly, and see if there's anybody else. In 10-team, I think there might be some players out there on your waiver wire that you probably would rather have. Because your running backs, what scares me is Breece Hall. Because like we just talked about, it's going to take him some time, I think, I think he does overtake Michael Carter for sure. But I don't think it's going to be something that's right out the gate where he's going to be getting, 60% of the opportunities. It's probably going to be like 30%. 30, 35%, with some other running backs mixing in there. So that is what I would be looking for. So let us know, who are some waiver wire or guys free agency that are available.
Maybe not waiver wire people, but people we would buy low on here before the season starts. You got to be quick if you're looking at a Bills or Rams guy. And one guy that I would want to look at is Daryl Henderson. I don't think I'm on the train that Cam Akers is going to be back to his normal self, going to be the guy. I think there's going to be a split. And if Cam Akers looks like he did in the playoffs last year, I don't think Sean McVay is going to keep on rolling him out. I think he would make the switch to Henderson as kind of the guy, or at least the 1A there. I think that's a sneaky guy to maybe trade on before his game 1, or Kenneth Gainwell is another guy that you should be able to trade for relatively cheap. And I like him as a potential later round move up the depth chart kind of guy. George Pickens might be another one if we're looking at wide receiver. Any rookie wide receiver, right? We talked about Dotson, Olave, Traylon Burks. A rookie wide receiver, I like a lot of those shots to maybe take on the 1A role. Who are you going here, Kev? Kirk or Tony?
I'm going Tony.
Kirk gets Washington. Tony gets the Titans. I know that Christian Kirk is the wide receiver 1. I still don't know what they're doing with the Giants there. I'm going to go Christian Kirk. Okay, Quicks. We need rating the team again. He was the last pick, so this is from the 12 spot. He gets Russ, A.J. Brown, McLaurin, Waddle, Barkley, Swift. Man, you love that tandem there, Kev. I know I do. With Schultz there. Kirk, Landry. I don't really love Landry there, but Hines, Ingram, Tolbert, Walker the third, and Christian Watson. Bench is a little shaky for me, but I really like your starters. McLaurin, I'm not as high on for a wide receiver 2, but yeah, maybe just brush up that bench. I don't know if he needs to carry Kirk Cousins. I think you're just going to be pulling your hair out. I did a recent tips video. You guys can check it out on this YouTube page. My suggestion was with quarterbacks, you don't need 2. You're either going to have 2 that are really close to each other, and you're always going to try and pick which one you want to start, and most often you're going to pick the wrong one, even though that they have the better matchup, or you're going to have an elite stud that you never need to sit for the other one. I just don't want to play the 2 quarterback game. Even Russ Wilson and Kirk Cousins, I like them both. Trade one if you can. Dump them for somebody else if you can't. I don't think you need them both.
Yeah, and to me, bench spots are so valuable, and I hate burning one.
Correct.
On it, right? And so I hate burning a roster spot on a quarterback that you're never going to play outside of 1 week that's bye weeks. And then depending on when these certain players' bye weeks are, it's so far down the line that so many things are going to change by that point. There's just no upside to carrying it. And I would much rather have running backs and wide receivers on my bench than I would ever want a quarterback that's going to bring no upside for me.
Yep. All right, speed round. Let's get caught up. We're 20 minutes behind on questions. I'm going to go Sutton here. It's Sutton or Brandon Cooks, half PPR.
Yeah, definitely Sutton. Great job with these wide receivers again. Pittman and A.J. Brown. Absolutely love it. Killed it.
Crushed it. Ronnie, thank you for jumping in. Really appreciate you giving us some questions. Jump in the Discord. We want to hear more questions from you throughout the week. Oliver here. Brees, London, or Pierce? He has Lazard, but he's questionable. If Lazard's playing, I'm taking Lazard. If he's not, I'm going to go Brees. Not sure what to expect from Pierce. He could be very low usage week 1. Drake is questionable as well.
So I'm going to go Lazard if he plays. If he doesn't, I'm going to go Drake London.
Ooh, okay.
If he doesn't for to play, then I would then just pivot, and I think you just go there. I think you just go Brees at that point.
Yep.
Though I do think Alec Pierce started the year for me. I was not a fan.
You were down.
Not a fan. And then we started to get training camp. We started getting a lot of hype coming out about him. A lot of really good reports about him. That he's much more of a nuanced route runner. And he's not just a deep threat. So I actually think that he could be the guy that could emerge as the wide receiver 2 in this offense.
You're putting Pierce to bed. You burying him?
I'm not burying him, but it's just he's been around now for 47 years, and it's starting to feel a lot like Eric Ebron. If you remember back, Eric Ebron was the Lions. Every year was okay, this is the year he's going to break out. This is the year he's going to do it. Everybody
Bob
get
on Sanders. Let's just keep on throwing out Colts. Bob Sanders, right?
Yeah, we get super excited, and then it doesn't happen.
Okay. Are you picking up Isaiah Pacheco off waivers, but dropping MVS to do that, or are you waiting until week 1 happens? Who do you like out of those 2?
So it's tough because I don't exactly know what the rest of your team looks like to be able to make that call. Because if you're stacked at wide receivers, I think you could drop MVS. If you're not, then I don't know. Because I definitely want Isaiah Pacheco. He's not probably going to go off this week, so you probably don't have to worry about that. He's certainly locked in. He's going to have a role on this team. They continue even this week. It has been nothing but how much they love Isaiah Pacheco there, and how much he's going to be involved. It's not going to be to the point where, though, that he's going to be getting 50% of the opportunity. I think it's going to be more of a ramp-up period. I think by probably maybe even after 3 or 4 weeks, we could be looking at him as the number 2 running back here. And you see McKinnon just kind of mixing in. And Ronald Jones, it sounds very, very much like he's going to be inactive. He's going to be the inactive guy on this team because they probably are going to have 4 running backs. And from a lot of the reports around here was they think the only reason the Chiefs even kept him was because they're hoping to be able to trade him, even for a 7th round pick. And that's it. That's the only reason he's even here still. So
yeah, I want whoever is backing up CEH. We've seen him get injured 2 years in a row. I like CEH this year. I think he's a good value. But then again, he's gotten hurt 2 years out of 2 years. I want that backup running back. I would take Pacheco over MVS just because of what could skyrocket if there was an injury above him. Let's rate this team really quick. 12-man, full PPR. He also had Killer Quicks had the last pick as well. Russ.
that Barkley Swift.
Oh, is this the same? Yeah, this is the same one we just saw. Okay. I was like, this looks a lot like the team we just saw. That was Twitch.
That Barkley Swift start probably at that turn there.
Yeah.
That could end up just being the league winning combo that people end up getting.
No doubt. Where are you going here?
Bateman here.
Bateman over Stevenson. I'm going to agree with that. Needs one running back, 2 wide receivers, 1 flex. We got Swift, Zeke. Well, you're probably not going to go Zeke over Pierce or Mitchell. So let's lock in Swift.
Mm-hmm.
And let's lock in. Can we lock in a wide receiver here? We've got Woods, St. Brown, Waddle, Michael Thomas, London.
So for me, it would be Waddle, and then the other wide receiver would be Amon-Ra St. Brown. So then that leaves us a flex.
And as the Zeke guy, I'm not crazy about starting him against that Bucs defense. So I'm going to be lower on him. I think he's 18 or 20 in my rankings. I'm sure Kev has him potentially even lower than that. So I'm probably going Swift, Woods, and Waddle, with the flex being Mitchell. Give me Mitchell at the flex.
I'm going to go Swift, like I said, St. Brown, Waddle, and then I'm going to flex Elijah Mitchell.
Yeah. Thanks for the question, CB. Walito, Penny, or Monty?
Gross is what I'm saying. I'm gonna go with David Montgomery though here.
Yep.
Oh, that's not the one I was looking at.
He was just asking.
That's the one I was wanting to go to. Lamar today said he'd be back in a few weeks. That's interesting news.
I bet he's out. Oh, he's talking about Dobbins. This next one.
Yeah.
Lamar talking about Dobbins. Yeah, it doesn't sound like they're super confident he'll be ready for week 1. So I would agree with that assessment. Clementine, welcome in.
I can't remember who this is. This is actually, I think he's you. If I remember correctly from last year, jogging my memory, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure this is the gentleman that he's using his wife's account to use it. I think. Let me know if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure I'm right though.
Mr. Clementine, then potentially. We don't know. Clementine, whoever you are, glad you're rocking with us.
I could be wrong. I just remember somebody using somebody else, their I think your wife's account or something like that on the show.
Anyway, we're growing. You're not going to be able to keep all these people straight because we got 44 people rocking currently in the chat with us. Thank you so much. We're going to answer every single question, so keep them coming. We need to pick up the pace. How do you like this team? 12-team, half PPR, had the 4th pick. We got Murray, Russ. Don't think you need 2 quarterbacks. Henry, Jones, Connor, Dillon. Love the running backs. Who's Mick Williams? I don't know who Mick Williams is. Hollywood, Mooney.
Oh, Mike Williams, maybe?
Mike Williams.
Yeah.
You're high on Mike Williams.
Love Mike Williams.
I have him as a low wide receiver too. So I feel like that's
I hate the two quarterbacks. It's not a super flex, right? I don't see anywhere it says super flex.
Mm-mm.
So I hate the 2 quarterbacks.
I think you could trade one. Much love from West Africa. International brand TFA, baby. Let's
love
go.
To see it. But here we are. You have it. I mean, I still think, especially for a 12-team league, to be able to have a lot of the weapons you have here, I think is really good. The weapons you have, can we
let Russ go off against Seattle, and then move him and maybe upgrade at wide receiver? Move Russ, and I would say Mooney. I know you're a big Mooney guy, but move Russ and a wide receiver and try and upgrade, get a wide receiver 1. That's what I'd say. Russ is probably going to cook against his former team. Keep Murray. I think Murray will be better long-term. Trade Russ, upgrade at wide receiver. Love the team.
Yeah, great team, though, overall.
We're going Boyd, McKenzie, Julio, or Gallup. Gallup's not playing week 1, almost for certain.
I'm going to go Julio.
Isaiah McKenzie's going to be so sneaky. It's going to be, you know how there's always that slot wide receiver who goes off week 1 it's going to be Isaiah McKenzie in this matchup. But
my showdown lineups for tomorrow night is going to love that then.
yeah,
But
DFS, you got to be firing up McKenzie for the price. I'm sure. I'm not even the DFS guy, but that's kind of a given. Give me Julio, but I don't mind McKenzie either. Thanks, Ronaldo. Oh, fantasy gurus, we're pumped up for the season as well. So he just made a trade here, shipping away Mike Evans and Hunter Henry for DJ Moore, Kyle Pitts. Yeah, that's the win.
Yep. You won that easily.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Thoughts on, hey, drink every time you hear that George Kittle's on the injury report. It's already happened here, not even at week one. Hate to see it, not surprised to see it. We see it did not practice or limited practice. I think he might have been a DNP. He did not practice with the groin. We're at Wednesday, so that's scary. You can stock up maybe a little bit with Debo and Ayuk. That's the one thing. If one of them misses, you really like the other two. So that kind of helps because if all three play, I don't really love any of them, especially for how the low amount of passing I think they're going to have with Lance. So that's my thoughts there. Top 5 defenses. Let's come back to that. I'll pull that up for just a second. Let's do this first, Kev. Who should we start at flex? Hollywood, Amon-Ra, Pierce, McKenzie, or Duvernay? I'll pull up my defenses.
Defense for me, Broncos are 1. And then I have the Saints, the Ravens, 49ers. Is that 5? Did I say 5?
No, you only got 4.
But then the Colts. Sorry, the Colts.
I was going to say, you got to have the Colts there. We got Ravens against the Jets, Broncos against Seattle, Colts against Houston, 49ers against Chicago. And then I've got Eagles actually against Detroit, but I have Saints, who you said at 6, versus Atlanta. Those are my top 6. Any one of those. Some of those are actually open on waiver wires. So, Michael Brown, you should be able to find a defense that you want. Pick one of those. I was for Gator Fan. Gator Fan, pick one of those folks there. For the flex, I'm going Hollywood. Not all that close. My league counts return yards. I'll be honest, I don't know who's the returners out of all those guys.
Why do you hate Amon-Ra St. Brown is what I want to know.
I just don't know that usage right out the gate, right? Like, he's not getting his 10 targets a game, 11 targets a game that he got.
Well, of course not, but what wide receivers do. I still think that he is probably the leading target getter from this. I think he is a really good wide receiver. I think he's very, very good. And I think he probably leads this team in targets this year.
Sure. But he is generally a slot wide receiver that had good yardage actually last year. For his yards, his ADOT was actually better than what he showed in college at USC. But I think that was a product of being kind of the only show in town. And now I think he's going to be maybe more forced into those type of routes. DJ Chark on the outside, Swift still in the backfield. We got Hawkinson. So if he gets the 7-8 targets, turns them into 5 or 6 catches for 55 yards, right? I don't know. I'm lower on him than most. Don't hate him, but I'm definitely Hollywood's over him for sure. That's not a hot take at all.
It's close to me, but yeah, I think
week 1, no Hopkins. Cardinals 53.5 over under, baby. That's not close.
Earnest baseball. Start Godwin, Michael Thomas, or Elijah Moore, and the flex. I'm going Godwin.
Man, we're tossing Godwin to a lot of people here. I feel like that one better not come back. We always have one. It feels like that comes back and burns us. It's Godwin for me too, though.
It's just hard with him because like we already talked about with him. Like if he's practicing in full, right? And there's a lot of everybody saying how good he looks, in this offense already. He shed the big brace, and if I just can't imagine them running him out there for week fucking 1, when who cares, and to have him, if they think that something wrong could go over here, so he has to be at 100% and thinking that he is ready to go. And so if he is, I am not sitting him at all because he could absolutely destroy you for sitting him. And then you have Michael Thomas, who is dealing with his own injury. I don't even know what to expect from him. And then you have Elijah Moore, who I like, but still not a great matchup week 1 against Baltimore. And so Godwin just makes a ton of sense here.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's been all positive. So I agree there. Andrea, hello. Welcome in. Thank you for joining us. If you got a question, I see she does have a question here, a little bit lower. Fantasy Guru. So this is what I'm talking about with this Damian Pierce hype. Fantasy Guru. You would not be a fantasy guru if you're starting Damian Pierce.
It's
over DJ Moore. Over DJ Moore, yes.
Yes, you go DJ Moore here.
Doo-doo. You wouldn't be the fantasy guru. Do not do that. Stop with this.
Listen,
you people.
Listen, it is.
He's a running back for the Texans who had the worst yards before contact.
That's what I'm talking about, though. That's my point, though. That's
in a terrible matchup. In a terrible matchup. That's. I
mean, it's not a terrible. It's not like the Colts. I mean, the Colts defense is good. It's not like
Colts were a top 5 run defense last year.
Yeah,
might be higher than that. I think they might have been like top 3 run defense. I need to fact check myself on that, but they were fantastic against the run. Darius Leonard, you want to talk about middle linebacker?
It is 100% DJ Moore.
Okay,
my point is my pushback with Pierce has continued to be because everybody has the same narrative. Oh, he's on the Texans. He's on a terrible offense. I don't care that he's on the Texans. I don't care about that. Like I've said, we've seen running back. We saw James Robinson, and to be fair, like we're really all that concerned with Rex Burkhead. Like I'm not. Like Rex Burkhead is not that big of a deal to me, and I actually hope that Damian Pierce does struggle a little bit, the week 1, right? And it's going to lower a lot of that, and maybe he doesn't get as much opportunity as we think. I think he could end up being a great buy because I think season long, Damian Pierce is a solid RB2.
I definitely disagree, but we'll continue. Cortland Sutton over DJ Moore. Are you with me there, PPR?
It's Cortland Sutton.
Yep. Thoughts on, we've already said our thoughts on Mike Gesicki. Will, if you missed them, we're not loving the way that they're looking to use Mike Gesicki. Obviously, with Hill and Waddle, his targets are going to go down anyways. They're looking to use him more as a blocker, which Kev has stated over and over is absolutely silly. That's not his strength. So we're not really sure what they're doing there, but we would not look to roll him out. There's some other guys. Irv Smith is probably on your waivers. I've seen him available. Gerald Everett. It looks like Darnell Parham is not going to be back for week 1, so I would take a shot with Gerald Everett over Mike Gesicki. A couple guys you can look at over him. Aaron Hernandez, welcome. You flexing James Conner or Nick Chubb?
Man, Aaron, who are your running backs? You're starting over these guys. Like, not one of them is your RB2. I'm going to go James Conner.
I will go James Conner as well.
I just cannot imagine sitting Nick Chubb, though. Aaron, who are you starting at your running back spots?
Man, I've got Chubb higher, but I don't know if I agree with my.
If it was like half or obviously standard, I would go Chubb, but like in full PPR, like
yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
I don't know what he's referencing here.
It's probably when we were talking about the Panthers, and I forgot that they traded for him, right? And then where you went?
Panthers? Oh yeah, they did. Okay, let's go.
I would love to see him do something, but
hey, what do you think about Travis Intindio? You in on Intindio here?
New life. I mean, we talked about it already. I'll say it again. It sounds like, especially for week 1, it sounds like that James Robinson, he's going to play. They've already confirmed he's going to play this week. But they have said that they're going to bring him along very slowly. So I think that leads to Travis Etienne, especially early on in the season, probably getting a large majority of the touches out of this backfield. And so I really like Travis Etienne. We love him for season long, but I think even just right out the gate, I think he's a very strong. Option.
Higher Performance Living questioning why we're so disrespectful of the 45-year-old Julio Jones's ADP.
Well, I don't think it's. I think he's saying overall, because it's a very crowded wide receiver room. I mean, now with Godwin back and he's sounding healthy, you have him. You have obviously Mike Evans, and now you have Russell Gage, who that Tom Brady went out of his way to recruit to come to Tampa. And then you also have Julio, and so I think Julio is going to be a part-time player. He's not going to play some like
he won't start. He won't start in 3 wide receiver
I think they're
leagues.
going to use him situationally. I think he'll probably play more like a 50% snap share or something like that, which he can still be fine. I mean, he can still get 6-7 targets a game. Playing that. That's still in the range of possibility.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, they do.
They have said that he's looked great through training camp and all that stuff, but I don't know. I think he's going to be somebody you'll never really be able to
start confidently.
Yeah, and like know for sure like when he's gonna pop off.
Pollard, Stevenson, Elijah Moore. PPR.
I'm going to go Tony Pollard.
I think I will too. I think I'm with you there.
It's tough because Elijah Moore is a sneaky one for me, but I don't know. Can you really trust Joe Flacco?
Against the Ravens, always trust the revenge game narrative, Kev. Come on.
Yeah, okay. What do you guys think on CH season? Is he a good flex? I have Harris mixed in with him. Is that good?
I think CH as a flex is fantastic. I really like that because I think you have boom potential. Obviously, there's a lower floor. We've seen injury. We've seen some disappointment, but also his bar was so high that he was never going to attain that. So, yeah, I really like CH as a flex.
Yeah,
I've been getting him in a lot of leagues.
It's just tough with him because he's not going to – they're not going to utilize him at really that much, a ton in the passing game, and they're not going to probably utilize him on the goal line. So it just makes him tough to trust – or not trust, but I think his ceiling – I know there's people that love him and think that he actually is a very good value. And he very well could be. I mean, he fell pretty – I think he was like a 6th, 7th round pick for a lot of people. So he could be that guy, and he could bounce back in a big way this year. But I don't know. I think there's a lot of volatility to him as well.
Yeah, it's just tough. I mean, you talk about Damian Pierce and how he could catch the football at college. I mean, what did CH do better than catch the football in college? Like, that's got to be something eventually that they can trust him with. They haven't so far.
I think but it's more so the third down work because he's terrible at pass protection, and they will not put him back there. I mean, for that. That's why
they brought in Ronald Jones apparently to help out with the pass protection. Oops.
Yeah, I don't know what that was. I still don't. But Isaiah Pacheco, that's where Isaiah Pacheco could be that guy. So if Isaiah Pacheco's sitting out there in any waivers, I want him on my team before week 1. Because I think there's a few guys that are like that are. I actually have a whole list of all the waiver stuff that I was going to do, but I ran out of time this week. We can go to the next question. Maybe I'll read off a few of them that I really am high on that people should be adding before week 1, before waivers, to try to get a head start.
There you go. That'll be good for the group. Hey, we need a running back and a flex. ETN, Brees, and Drake London. I'm going to go ETN as the running back, Brees as the flex over Drake London. It's a 12-team PPR with Najee as that running back 1.
Yeah, I think we had a very similar situation with this, and I'll go London.
Okay, let's say Lazard is not going active. Well, I guess we're just looking for thoughts on Watson and Romeo Dobbs. Dobbs has been the star of camp, just everything coming out positive about him. Christian Watson got injured early on, hasn't really done anything in camp. Sounds like he's back in practice, should be ready to go for week 1. So you've got one that's been pointing up, one arrow that's been really pointing down until recently. I think Watson has that higher boom ability, but he is very raw. I know our guy Debro will argue and push back that he is not the raw prospect that most people think he is. I do think he is coming out of North Dakota State. I think we saw that he has a lot to learn for the nuances at wide receiver. Really only played it for 1 year there. So I'm going to go. I like them both, but I'm going to be Lazard is going to be the guy to own in that wide receiver core. And then I'm taking a shot on one of these other guys. It's going to be Watson and then Dobbs third.
Yeah.
Got some question. We need some trade strategy. I think that should be a show that we do, or maybe a segment of a show that we do, because I definitely think that there's a lot of stuff that you can do in different segments of the season, right? Somebody pops off. There's always that early season bias, right? Somebody doesn't pop for the first 2 weeks, or they do pop. Maybe they're doing well because of who they played, and that won't be sustained for the full season, right? We talked about Breece Hall as kind of that easy one for a lot of people. You have a rookie coming in, really tough schedule, probably going to split work, but then the second half of the season really opens up and should maybe take on more of the work from Michael Carter. That's going to be an easy one, but yeah, I think we can carve out some time to do a trade strategy conversation.
Yeah, and I think we could probably work that in too, because I'm going to attempt, if I have time. It may not be every single week, but I'm going to try to do a buy sell video that will probably come out Tuesday. I'm going to try to start doing that. Record it Monday night, and so I could probably talk about some of those things in there as well.
PPR, Gabe Davis or Waddle?
Gabe Davis.
Yeah, Gabe Davis. Half PPR, Waddle, Michael Thomas, Gabe Davis, or A-Rob? Are you going A-Rob over Gabe Davis here?
I am. I'm going to go Allen Robinson. It's super close. I love both of them. But
Yeah, what side of the ball do you want to be on there? I kind of want both if you can.
yeah,
I'm going to go Gabe Davis. I'm going to go Gabe Davis.
Yeah.
But super close. Waldito wants us to put some respect on Michael Thomas's name.
Get out of here, Walito, with that. I will say, too, also, just a pro tip. I was here. I'm sure most people know this, but in case you don't, never, ever start your Thursday night players in your flex. Ever. Start them in your running back, wide receiver slots.
Yep.
Never start them in your flex.
Move them to the position that they are. Put a Sunday night player or a Monday night player in your flex, if at all possible. Mike Williams, Sutton, Etienne, full PPR. We need 2 of the 3. I'm going to go Sutton and Mike Williams.
My goodness, Justin. I'm going to go Etienne and Sutton. I hate that because I love Mike Williams, but I'm going to go
sitting your boy. Yeah. The hot take you had was him over Keenan Allen. I'm trying to remember our Nuts on the Table episode. You had something with Mike Williams.
Yeah, I had Mike Williams finishing ahead of as a top 12 wide receiver, and I think finishing ahead of
Keenan Allen.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, you were kind of looking this up, so
I got it. I got
perfectly.
it.
All right, I'm gonna let you take it.
Okay, so since I guess I was gonna do it now, I can't. So now I can just do it here. So the players that I would be looking at, some of these in some of your leagues they're not gonna be available. But if for whatever reason Jamal Williams, Khalil Herbert are available, you should add them now. Both of them should be added in more leagues, especially Jamal Williams. He is going to mix in with DeAndre Swift. I love DeAndre Swift, but he is not going to get 80% of the opportunity. Jamal Williams is going to mix in. He's probably going to get 10 to 12 touches per game. He's much like the Tony Pollard of that offense in a way where he's going to mix in and get touches. He's going to get goal line work. He's owned at 47% of Yahoo leagues. Khalil Herbert, same thing. Love him. Wouldn't be shocked if he's the starting running back by the end of the year of this team, ahead of David Montgomery. Yes, I said what I said. The other ones are a little bit more widely available. You have Rachaad White. Love him as kind of a handcuff type option. Great pass catching running back. Isaiah Pacheco only rostered in 31% of leagues. I was surprised on that one. Again, we've already talked about him a ton. If he's out there, he needs to be added. He could be a guy that goes for 60 yards and a score this week and is one of the top waiver ads, because he is going to be involved in this offense. To what level, we'll see, but he's definitely involved in this offense right out the gate. Tyler Algier, again, another guy we think could really take over this backfield in a couple weeks. There's nobody there. We've talked about him all offseason. Only rostered 29% of leagues. Zamir White, always really surprised he's only rostered in 15%. They have no allegiance to Josh Jacobs. It doesn't seem like they really love Josh Jacobs either. And again, another guy that I think if Josh Jacobs goes out and plays really well this week, I would be looking to sell Josh Jacobs because they drafted Zamir White. They really like Zamir White. Again, another player. Wouldn't be surprised if he took over the backfield. And then some other names without really going too far into it. I think Sony Michel now could be the guy in Chargers playing that role that we were hoping would be Isaiah Spiller, 12%. Samaje Perine is definitely another, and Daryl Williams, both less than 10% owned. Both of those guys would be guys that you could look at in deeper formats. It's more handcuffs. Jeff Wilson could end up being the number 2 running back that we wanted Trey Sermon to be. Super deep leagues. I think Jalen Warren, anybody, you'd have to be like a 14-team league to get there. Hassan Haskins would be another guy, super deep option. Wide receivers.
Oh, we gotta go. Kev. Quick name drop, and then we gotta keep rolling.
Did something bad? Did something happen that I'm not aware of?
Nope, we're 25 minutes behind. So do some names.
Okay, I'll tell you what.
Just read the names.
No, let's do this. Let's go through the questions, and I'll jump over to wide receivers here in a minute. Let's get caught up on questions.
Okay.
Let's do that.
We're doing Njoku, Henry, or Irv Smith PPR. It's going to be.
It's Njoku for me.
Not Njoku with Jacoby Brissett. No chance.
It's Jacoby Myers for me. Yes, he targets tight ends at a very high rate. It would be Njoku for me, but
Irv Smith.
Okay.
Absolutely hitting 50 viewers right now at 47. Invite the friends and let's get back to 50. Thank you guys so much for jumping in. Starting 2, half PPR. Thielen, Juju, Melvin Gordon, Chase Edmonds, Claypool, Hunt. Give me Juju and Thielen, actually. Thielen over Edmonds.
It's Juju and Edmonds for me.
Okay, I'm close there with Edmonds. Not bad. Monty or A-Rob. We're both going to go A-Rob. Naheem Hines, is he worth a flex spot for the season? He's worth a bench spot with the potential to be a flex starter when it makes sense with bye weeks. I would say he's not a strong flex currently right there, though. Need a flex out of Palmer, Dotson, McKenzie, Watkins. Give me a
I'm gonna go with McKenzie, but Sammy Watkins is gonna go for like 5 for 110 and 2 scores, and then we'll never hear from him again.
It is week 1. We forgot about if Lazard's out. We forgot about the Sammy Watkins week 1. I'll still keep McKenzie. If we're picking up a defense here, who are we dropping? Olave, Woods, or Claypool?
Gator? Do you just not have a defense and you have to pick one up? If that's the case, I would drop Robert Woods because I'm not dropping Chris Olave. You probably could make a case for Chase Claypool too, but I don't think you need to drop him.
Yeah, I hate dropping any of those guys for a defense, but you definitely need to have a defense. Claypool for me. Is that what you were fist pumping for?
Yeah, I was like, man, I'm almost positive. I was like, at the same time, I don't want to say it and be completely wrong. And the person be like, no, you're an idiot. What are you talking about? So nailed it.
All right. Fantasy Gurus totally redeems themselves here. Just joshing around, absolutely going DJ Moore over Damian Pierce. Thank the heavens. Season outlook for Waddle. I think I have him low end wide receiver 2, maybe wide receiver 18, 19 for the season. Are you lower than that? I think we're right around consensus.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he has like this massive ceiling unless Tua just absolutely takes this huge step forward this year, which is possible. We've seen it before with the quarterbacks. Once you add that like elite level wide receiver into the mix, like Tyreek, but I still think that he's probably going to be a little bit capped. But it's definitely going to be a consolidated target share between Waddle and Tyreek.
Okay. Rieger Productions has Travis Etienne at running back 1 and then running back 2. Who should he go here? Pierce, Patterson, James Cook, McKissick, or Henderson?
You have to say it here. It's Damian Pierce. Don't even try to do it. Don't do it.
I mean, I'm going to go Patterson. Why wouldn't Patterson have 4 catches on top of whatever he can do on the ground to Damian Pierce? Assuming this is a PPR. If it's a standard, I'll go Pierce. But if it's a half or PPR, give me Patterson. Week 1, they're going to fire him up. Clementine back with another question here. Need a third wide receiver and a flex. Davis, Cooks, and then we've got CEH, Miles Sanders. I'm going to go both. I'm going to go CEH and Gabe Davis. Sitting Cooks. Sorry, Walito. Wide receivers are McLaurin. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do Gabe Davis and Cooks in for McLaurin. CH at the flex. I'm sitting McLaurin. There you go. Walito's happy again. This is going to be Sutton for me. Sutton or Akers, PPR.
Yeah, it's Sutton.
Another Najee team. I'm thinking Zeke will be blocking a lot this game. That opens up options for Pollard. Any thoughts? I think they will use Dalton Schultz and Zeke to chip block, especially on left side. I don't think new left tackle Jason Peters will quite play. Week 1, it might be the rookie, might be Josh Ball, who was their swing tackle rookie last year. They're going to chip wherever they can. So, yeah, to a certain extent, he will be blocking a little bit more. Abraham back with us. What do you think about this team here? Do you like the lineup that he's laid out before you?
Yeah, I think you're fine. Kind of like I talked about with Josh Jacobs, especially because he's played very well against the Chargers. The Chargers were terrible last year. I think they were 3rd or 4th. I don't have it in front of me in terms of fantasy points per game allowed to the running back position. They were just very bad against the running backs last year. And so if Jacobs comes out this week, because like in his career, in 5 games he's played, he has 400 rushing yards and 4 touchdowns in the 5 games that he's played against them. And
Okay.
so if he goes off this week, he's somebody that I would be looking to trade. So yeah, but overall, I think it's a solid team.
JJ, welcome in. Welcome back in. 12-team PPR. A lot of people got Russ, and I like it. Najee, Etienne, Debo, Mike Thomas, Kittle, Monty at flex, A-Rob, and Penny on the bench. I'm glad you got A-Rob. I'll be honest, I don't love the wide receivers. Debo, I have him more as a wide receiver 2 than wide receiver 1. I'm definitely lower than consensus on him. Mike Thomas, you and I are both a little bit lower than consensus on him as well. But A-Rob kind of makes up for it. And I'd probably start A-Rob over Mike Thomas here week 1.
I want to ask you just really quickly, Najee Harris, are you looking to move him because of the foot injury? The foot injury scares the shit out of me, I'll be honest. And especially with it being a Liz Frank, it doesn't take much to re-aggravate that. And if it does, we could be looking at a Travis Etienne where he would be out for the rest of the year. Like it's kind of one of those situations to me, like maybe it is super minor, but it is an injury that is very easy to re-aggravate. And so I am nervous about Najee Harris this year and about like wanting to try to move off of him before something bad could happen like that.
I mean, if you can, I'd pivot to Mixon. Mixon's a guy that I'm higher on than most people are taking Najee over Mixon. If you can do some kind of pivot for a similar ranked running back, I'm fine with doing that. I'm not trying to do a big dip though to somebody in the running back 2 range.
Oh, I'm not taking a loss by any means if I can help it. But like it's just that foot injury scares the hell out of me because the chances of re-injury is high.
Are you going Zeke or Amon-Ra in the flex?
I'm gonna go Zeke.
There you go. Good job, Kev.
I hate myself.
I'm so proud of you. This is Gabe Davis. We're taking him over Isaiah McKenzie, New Life. Looking forward. Got some Tuesday shows. Yeah, did you mention something about a little Tuesday show, trade strategy or something?
You weren't even listening, but yeah.
We're gonna, well, I'm doing 4 or 5 things here.
No, I said I'm gonna try to start doing some buy sell videos on
that's what it was.
Tuesday.
Excuse me for running the chat here. Cordero Patterson or Stevenson or Damian Harris.
I'm gonna go Patterson.
I'm gonna go Patterson as well. Yes, JJ, nuts on the table takes, also called bold takes. We would love to hear some if you guys have any bold takes or Super Bowl predictions. We normally do this kind of on before the eve of week 1 starting. Who do you guys think are going to be in the Super Bowl? I would love to hear some takes.
That is a good question for the chat. Yeah, let us know, what are your Super Bowl predictions and what's your boldest fantasy take for this season?
Yes, let's hear them. Love you right back, JJ. Thank you for the love. Fantasy Guru is 12-team PPR. Team is Hurts, CMC, Mixon, Devonte, Pittman, Pitts, DJ. I think he's maybe having some fun here.
Yeah, because there's no shot.
I think he's having some fun here. All right, we're starting Gabe Davis over Waddle if you have Diggs. Are you trying to start Diggs and Gabe Davis?
Yeah, for this matchup, it doesn't really worry me because I mean this game could end up being like a 60-point score, right, over under total, and so I think both of them can be fine.
Yeah, I don't particularly love it long term, but
oh yeah, no, not something I'd want to do every week. But for this week, you could do it. I think it's possible. This is AJ Dillon.
Yep, AJ Dillon over Melvin Gordon at the flex. What's up, Jason? We got Mooney or Gabe Davis as the wide receiver 3. Kev, are you pumping your guy up over Gabe Davis?
I'm gonna go Darnell Mooney.
You fool. This is Gabe Davis for sure. Are we dropping Mike Davis or Kenny G for Irv Smith?
As long as it's not for a second tight end, which
I think Will needed a tight end.
Yeah, so
because Kittle, he had Kittle, right? And he was worried about.
Oh, maybe that's what it is. So if you had Kittle and you're worried about that, then drop Mike Davis. Not dropping Kenneth Gainwell.
Agree. We doing a Hawkinson or Njoku? I can't wait for Njoku to have 3 for 30 and nothing.
Why do you hate David Njoku?
Why do you love Jacoby Brissett that's going to throw 170 yards?
This is actually close. Because I actually have
It
T.J.
is
Hawkinson at 11, and I have Njoku at 12. So it would be really close. But I would go Hawkinson.
Hawkinson for sure. James Cook is on the waivers. Do I pick him up over
Yes.
J.D. McKissick?
Yep.
Kev and I say yes. Are we going Sutton or Sanders at the flex?
Sutton.
Sutton is going to tear it up this year.
I don't know why I even thought about it.
I don't know why you took that long. I'm so excited for Sutton, guys. If you guys have a Sutton or question, I'm probably going Sutton. Jameis Winston MVP is J.J. Walsh's hot take of the year.
Is this really Walito's burner account?
What is happening? Then he's going a little Saints Bills. This is getting a lot, J.J. Walsh. Okay,
I am really.
I didn't
I'm
want
really
your
starting to
hot
wonder,
take. We didn't want the hot take and the Super Bowl take, right? I want a legit Super Bowl take here. Are Saints even making the playoffs? Questionable. All right, Slap Chop 13. I love the logo there. Nice little brand. All right, 10-man PPR. Would you make any changes to this? Stafford, Evans, Juju, CMC, Gibson, Kelsey. You're flexing Zeke. The bench, we got Russ. I'm going Russ over Stafford. Yes, that's the first change I'd make. And I think I want to go Thielen or Lazard over Zeke. He said this is PPR, right? Yeah. I'm going, if Lazard's playing, give me Lazard. And then if not, I'm going Thielen over Zeke in the flex. What do you got?
If Lazard's playing, yes, I would go Lazard in the flex. I think I would probably go Thielen too over Zeke.
Right. So we're going Lazard. Yep, same thing. Okay. Lazard first, then Thielen, then Zeke. Jason, you're going out on a limb here. Under 20 interceptions for Winston.
He actually did pretty well. Now, he only threw the ball like 15 times a game, but he still did pretty well last year of really protecting the football. Like, he really wasn't that bad. Maybe there's LASIK that he got done. Corrected those eyes.
It's all those workouts he does, man. You've seen those workout videos. Engage the core, baby.
He's elite. I mean, he's not elite, but the workout videos are elite.
They're elite for sure. You're not working out unless it's posted online. Boys and girls, remember that. Are you going Browns, Panthers, Bengals, or Rams defense this week?
Definitely not Rams, but I actually don't like. I don't know. We'll talk about that another time. But not playing the Rams against the Bills. So
I think I like the Browns. I've got Browns at Carolina. Now, give me.
You remember Baker Mayfield said he's going to fuck him up. So
I don't doubt it. I got to respect the revenge game, man. You got to respect that. Give me Bengals. I'm not the Mitch Trubisky fan that Kev stands.
Yeah, I think I would go. Yeah, I think I would go there too. I think I would go Bengals.
All right, lost my place here. Let's go. Oh, okay. So apparently, Fancy Gurus is not joking. He's backed up by J.J. Walsh with that team, that stacked team. Don't even need to comment on it. It was fantastic if it's legit. Still, I need to see. Jump on our Discord, Guru. Give us a screenshot of that team. I need to see it to believe it. Oh, Will Hayes was saying he has Gesicki. All right, Will, we're dropping Gesicki. We're picking up Irv Smith. Absolutely.
Yep.
Buffalo would be the Super Bowl prediction. Barkley highest, so he's going to be the RB1 for fantasy. I'm okay with both of those. It's definitely a hot and little nuts on the table take, but I'm with it. I'm in on Barkley. Killa, who's Buffalo playing though? We got two teams in the Super Bowl, man. Who are they playing? Who's making it there with them?
I'm going to go DJ Moore here.
DJ Moore over Brandon Cooks. I agree. All right, Travis. I've got Kittle. If he's out, Mike Gesicki, Fant, or Isaiah Likely. Hey, here's an Isaiah Likely question for you, brother. Were you ready for that?
Travis, I feel like there's better options than Isaiah Likely at this point. There's got to be. Like David Njoku, Irv Smith, Gerald Everett.
Yes, I would take all three of those options over these gentlemen here that he listed. Okay. No, stop it. That's even worse than Njoku. That needs to be stopped.
Well, yeah, that's worse than Njoku, sure. We're not quite to Dan Arnold week yet. We'll get there sometime this year. But no, we're not there yet.
One day, Hollywood, Juju, or Lazard at wide receiver 2. He has Rodgers, if that kind of makes you lean towards Lazard. If Lazard is playing, again, I don't think he practiced today. Alan Lazard out with the ankle. He did not practice today.
That's not something. Which Wednesday's not the biggest deal.
Not the biggest deal.
And Friday is the definite one that we're really paying attention to.
Correct. Give me. Oh man, give me Juju. I don't know.
I'm gonna go
Hollywood.
It's super close. I like them both.
Oh man, I probably have them neck and neck. Flip a coin, Travis. I'm down with both. Is Barkley, Jamar Chase, so Najee, Kyle Pitts, and George Kittle a good lineup? Going 2 tight ends, interesting. Not how I always like to rock because you're kind of stuck there. If you only have one flex, you have to kind of play that other stud tight end. I would look to trade one of those tight ends if possible. But yeah, that's a lot of strong Barkley, Najee, Jamar. Yeah, that's good. Ooh, this is where we're going to put money where our mouth is. Are you taking Schultz over Waller? I think you are, aren't you?
Yes. And he's going to love it. The Cowboys fan in here with his Avi picture here with the Cowboys 5-time. Just
been a couple decades though, so it's fine. Yeah, I'm going Schultz over Waller. Waller's back to practice.
Yeah.
He's been back practicing again. Give me Schultz week 1. I think he's going to get peppered.
Should I trade Pitts, Mike Evans, Lockett for Fournette, Deontay, and Judy?
No. So Mike Evans down to Deontay, in my opinion. I mean, you get a good running back coming back. I mean, that's fair. But I think you're fine with Gibson.
Who do you have at tight end already?
Yeah, Francisco, I want to know if we need Kyle Pitts, right? I'm assuming it's not anybody great. That's why you'd be looking to upgrade here. Wait. He would trade away Pitts. He should I?
Right, that's why.
So he has Pitts. He would be having to play waiver wire, get Irv Smith, Njoku, some of these folks that we're talking about. Is it worth getting a bump up to Fournette over Gibson and Pierce? But I think you decrease a little bit from Evans to Deontay. I do like Judy over Lockett. I'm saying no. I think you stick with Pitts. I like that positional advantage. And I like Evans as a top 10 wide receiver, even with Godwin coming back. Freiermuth or Hawkinson?
I'm going to go Hawkinson.
Yeah. Kev, please elaborate a little bit more on Najee Harris for those who have not heard the news about his foot injury.
Yeah, I mean, he suffered a Liz Frank injury. I mean, it sounds like it was a little bit more minor in nature, but with that injury, like chances of reoccurrence is high. And, it can be to the point where if it's dislocated, then you have to get surgery. I'm not a doctor, nor do I play one on TV. But, Liz Frank is something we saw with Travis Etienne. We've seen it with other players, right? And that's what worries me. And it's already a little bit of a cloudy situation. Like, is he going to see the same type of pass catching work that he saw last year, which is going to lower him down a little bit? If his offense isn't as good, maybe he doesn't score that many touchdowns. And then you have this injury hanging over his head that at any time that can, any sort of foot injury is also always just a concern for any running back. And yes, again, it sounded like it was a little bit minor. It wasn't like a huge deal, but that injury can be something that pops back up. And if it does, it could end up it could end up literally costing him the season if he ended up dislocating it. And so that's what would be my concern with Najee Harris. And, if something like that were to happen, obviously that would be a huge blow.
Thank you, doctor. Thank you so much. My heartache is James Conner ties his touchdown record from last year. I don't know if that's good or bad, because that heartache is normally a bad thing, but then we got a little rock on emoji with some shades.
No, it wasn't supposed to be a heartache. It was supposed to be my hot take.
Oh, there we go. I was like, getting mixed messages here, Jason. Yeah, that would be. I mean, his touchdown efficiency was through the roof, both on receiving and rushing. Who else is there?
Listen, FG podcast. I wouldn't say it's not happening. I mean, it's in the rate. It could happen. I mean, Chase Edmonds is gone.
He's taking away touchdowns from him.
Can
Benjamin?
He stay healthy? It's the biggest question. Can he stay healthy for a full year? And some of those things. And so it definitely could happen. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it definitely could happen. It's not crazy. Like, legitimately, James Conner has a path to being a top 5 running back this year. Like, that is like he was last year, I think. I believe he was. Or I'm thinking of Leonard Fournette. I can't remember which one I'm thinking of.
Say that again?
James Conner.
He was a top 6 running back,
I believe. So anyways, but that's definitely in the range possibility for him again.
Yeah, he had 12 touchdowns in 2018. Like, he can find the end zone. It's just the health, right? It's just the health.
Oh, sorry. Whoa. We've already saw that one.
I believe we have. Next. Sack on the table with that one. Love it. Irv Smith is on the waivers. He has Patty Freiermuth and Hawkinson. Should I keep them or drop one? I think you can just roll with Hawkinson.
I would drop. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't go out and add Irv Smith, and I would drop probably Patty Fry. Honestly, you don't need 2 tight ends.
They're not throwing 650 times like they did with Big Ben, and there's just so many mouths to feed in that offense. He's going to have to survive off of touchdowns like he did last year, and I just don't know if that happens with Trubisky and Pickett.
Rock out. Welcome back. Second flex, Singletary, Olave, MVS. Or pick up AJ Green, Abdullah, Bart Scott. Boston Scott.
Bart Scott. Can't wait.
Yeah. Olave.
We are doing Olave. We Olave it. Yeah, give me Chris. Give me Christopher.
This is where we're at. See, and Cody's in here because he's the next one. I need Cody in here to say it. I can't. I just can't. I can't make that.
Whoa. Where did this happen? We just hit 3K yesterday. You guys are coming out of the woodworks. What is happening? I'm in. Keep the train rolling, folks. We appreciate y'all so much.
Is right that you're not going to say George Pickens, right? You're actually going to say Ross St. Brown here.
I'm with you. Come on now.
All right, Travis. The tight end is super thin. Likely, maybe worth the hype when he gets more comfortable. Yeah, but.
Oh, for likely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. It's just, again, going back to the pass volume, they're not going to have a ton, so they're going to have some efficiency, right? And you're going to need someone that scores. And the tight end 2 in Baltimore has been like Nick Boyle in the past, and we're talking about 3 touchdowns a year.
But Nick Boyle, though, I think is like is still on the team, I believe. And
right. Charlie Kohler, who's hurt.
He's going to be on the field because he is much more of their inline blocker. That he's going to do all that stuff, right? Where you have Mark Andrews do the other, split out wide and all that stuff, right? Now, there's not a whole lot else there, right? And so it's possible that maybe they utilize likely in a different way.
Maybe.
But
35 catches.
I just don't see any sort of ceiling unless Mark Andrews goes down.
100%. We're starting 3 this week. Sutton, Gabe Davis, Dylan, Brandon Cooks, or Tony.
I'm going Sutton, Davis, and Cooks.
Ding, ding, ding. Winner, winner. Mark, where do y'all rate the Cowboys defense? Week 1?
Did we somehow get like in Cowboys like like this is the second guy with the Cowboys in the
I know.
And Robbie is a Cowboys fan, so among people here, but where do you rate the Cowboys defense this year?
Week 1, not high, not great. Coming out the gate versus Tom Brady and the weaponry that they will have. That's going to be a high-scoring game. They're going to be solid. They're definitely the talent's on the defensive side, which is a massive switch, as Cowboy fans know. The talent has always been on the offensive side for forever. the defense is now more talented than the offense, and that's with Dak, Zeke, CeeDee Lamb. So yeah, defense is going to probably be a top 10 unit. Probably not dipping much higher than that, but top 10. Did you have anything you wanted to add? Push back on?
I don't know if they're going to be. I mean, I don't know.
They're top third. They're top third of the league defense. I think that's fair to say.
They lost some pieces over the offseason.
On defense, Randy Gregory.
Yeah.
Which they replaced with, let's say, Dante Fowler, Dorrance Armstrong is pretty solid there.
I'm not really that high on Diggs at all.
And that's just it, though. Like, people feel like you have to be either high on Diggs or low on Diggs. Like, he's a solid quarterback one, right?
I mean, I don't know about that. Anyways, never mind. We could wrap hole here. I know Cowboys fans love him, so
he's fine.
I think he's bad, but
I don't think he's bad.
Anyways, let's keep it moving.
Rams. Okay, so Killa says Buffalo wins. So you have week 1, first game of the season is also the last game of the season in the Super Bowl. I kind of like it. And Buffalo's going to be just that pick. You know what? I like the Chargers, man. No one's saying the Chargers can make it. This team is complete. Offensive line, defensive unit as a whole. Offensive weapons, they've got it. They've got the quarterback. Give me some Charger love there. There it is. More Cowboy talk for you.
I know. We are among the Cowboys.
They're coming out. It's the evening. So Kyle Pitts or George Kittle, who do I trade? Who do I trade? I have Kyle Pitts higher, but he also is going to get you more if you trade him. I just don't want to play the game with George Kittle. He's going to miss 4 to 6 weeks. Let's just not.
Yeah. Jason, are you guys doing a Wednesday stream every Wednesday? Yes, we will be here every single Wednesday for the rest of the season. Every Wednesday night, and then any on the weekends. Yes. Sunday morning, I think 10 a.m. Central, we go live for our game day show, get you ready to do the very similar thing we're doing now, answer all the questions that you guys have all the way up until I think 11:30, I think is whenever we stop. So we have a little bit of time to set our own lineups and do what we have to do.
Whenever Kevin checks out so he can set his DFS lineup.
That's true. That has to happen as well. Because I by 11:30, I'm starting okay, we got to get off here. I got to, make some changes or, take a look at some. Anyways, but yes, we also have on the weekends, if you're into player props, we'll have player props live every single week with Tom and Cody. They go live. I think they're doing Saturday night or they might be doing Friday night. I thought they said Saturday night. They were doing Friday, then they switched to Saturday. So one of the nights they're doing a player prop, a live stream, and then Thursday nights is whenever we do the DFS DJ Nation show. We do that every Thursday night. So, ton of content here. And then actually Sunday night, we have our live waiver show that we do at halftime of the Sunday night football game where we'll go in, knock out waivers really quickly, get everybody ready for that as well. So,
ooh, did I skip someone? You
so.
Go back up.
Oh, was this one?
Yep. We got a 16-team league question here. Mitch Trubisky is the quarterback. Yikes, Legendary Pest Control says. Some guys have 3 QBs. It's a 1 QB league. Maybe don't panic and just see if somebody drops somebody.
This is what's going to happen. So what will end up happening is we'll start to see, especially now it's a 16-team league, so I can see people being more wanting to hold on to that because if something were to happen, you're really down at the bottom of the barrel. But I also would bet your team is probably stronger overall because people overloaded on quarterbacks and you were able to add more through that. Now, do I love Mr. Trubisky? No. Not as a weekly option.
No.
But eventually these guys are going to start dropping some of these players. So,
yeah, let us know who the rest of your team is. We'd love to kind of see that entire team assemble and see if we need to make a move week 1 or we can wait a bit.
Someone told me not to pick up Taysom Hill. Love is listen.
Stop. Are we doing it?
Well, I mean, but it depends on how much he plays tight end this year because they're saying that he's pretty much did everything with the tight end group this offseason. It's all been tight end. So we know that he could be utilized different ways. And if they use some of the creative ways, I mean, the same Pete Carmichael, the same offensive coordinator that's been there for years is still there. And so, like, this offense is going to look very similar to what we've seen. And so Taysom Hill could end up being a guy that we end up, that you could pick up and add and play at tight end. I mean, it's definitely possible. So I don't hate it. Who do y'all roll with this week, Bucks or Titans? I'm going to go.
Neither.
Yeah, I really don't
There's
want
other
either.
options.
Is that the only options that we have? I really don't want to play either.
We've listed Miami, Cincinnati, Washington. There's other defenses out there we want you to pick up first.
Look at this handsome photo here of Cody. This Avi of him.
You seen? Did he post it in a chat with you and me? His throwback from his band days when he had the band in the garage.
I can't believe he used to be in a band.
Oh, I can. That stash, baby. He's band material.
It never connects.
Would you trade longest sideburns in America?
Would you trade Saquon for Mark Andrews?
No, I wouldn't.
What's up with the next one? What's up with them waiver wide receiver 12-man PPR need volume?
Well, here now you can finally insert. Now that we're caught up, we're only 6 minutes behind. We're right there. Do you want to talk about some of your waivers for wide receiver that you want to keep an eye on?
Yeah, so wide receiver, again, these are guys that are probably likely owned in most of your leagues, but if they are sitting out there, Isaiah McKenzie, rostered in 49%. Somehow Treylon Burks and Sky Moore are 45% and 42%. That seemed a little off to me, but if somehow they were, yes, those would be guys that I would be definitely looking to add. Jacoby Myers, only 40%. Now, the guys that are a little bit more realistic, Romeo Dobbs, I think just buying into some of that offseason hype, I think is okay. He's only rostered in 32% of leagues. I think that, taking a shot on him, there's so much volatility with this group. I think it's possible a former fourth-round pick that he could end up being that guy. And then Rondale Moore is only rostered in 30% of leagues. There's been a lot of hype about him over this offseason. I should say a lot of hype, but there's been some talk lately with him that he could play that Christian Kirk role. If he does, then obviously that was a pretty, it was a very solid role for him last year, something that you could see over 100 targets for. I just don't trust Cliff Kingsbury. I think Cliff Kingsbury is a terrible coach. I don't know if they're actually going to use him that way, but I think he is another guy you could take a shot on. Nico Collins is something I've been a little bit higher on, 29% rostered in Yahoo leagues. I think he is going to be locked in as the number 2 wide receiver there in Houston, but it's the Houston passing offense. So how much you want to buy into that? Josh Palmer, disrespectful 19%. He is probably one right now of realistic guys that are probably out there. I would add him anywhere I possibly can. I keep saying it all offseason. Love Josh Palmer, number 3 wide receiver in this passing offense. One of the best offenses in the league, one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I think they could possibly even support 3 wide receivers in this offense. So he could be somebody that's fantasy relevant regardless if an injury happens, much like kind of like a Tyler Boyd was last year. But I look at Josh Palmer, and I think that if an injury were to occur, now you're talking about like a locked-in wide receiver 2. So I love Josh Palmer to take that second-year leap. Wan'Dale Robinson, 9%. I think if you wanted to, I don't hate it. Actually, even Sterling Shepard is only 1%. He actually has been really good when he's healthy. It's just been the problem of him not being healthy. And he's somebody that has always been one of Daniel Jones's favorite targets, but he just can never stay healthy. Alec Pierce, we talked about, 8% rostered. He's got a lot of hype, and it sounds like he could end up being that guy that wins that number 2 wide receiver role in this offense next to Michael Pittman. And so you could be talking about someone who gets 85, 90 targets in this offense, depending on how much they really open up the passing offense. I like those. And then some deep guys. David Bell, I figured you'd love that, only 3%, especially once we get to the point where Deshaun Watson comes back, in week 11. Then I think he could be a realistic option. He suffered a little bit of an injury. I know Robbie really loves David Bell, but I don't know, especially with Jacoby Brissett. I don't think you're going to be able to support multiple wide receivers in this offense. So
correct.
I think he's a little bit further down. Kyle Phillips has received a lot of hype this offseason as well, only 1% rostered. I think that's more of like a 14-team, 16-team league look right now, but could end up being a name down the line. And then Amir Smith-Marset was an interesting guy that got dropped by the Minnesota. I believe he went to Chicago, where it is wide open there for the number 2 role. So those are like super deep sleepers. Like if you're in like a 16-team league or something like that. Not nobody in a 12-team league needs to be looking at. Or I also had Brian Edwards on there, but that's for the brand.
That was just for Cody. Love it. Who do I start at flex? Ayuk, Sutton, Thielen, Lockett. That is going to be Sutton for me.
Sutton. Why are we even having this conversation?
I don't know. You paused. You paused again.
It threw me off.
So this is going back to the Saquon for Andrews trade. Oh, wait. Maybe they're building a little bit. Trading Saquon and Goddard for Andrews and Marquise Brown. No, we're not doing that. Cody's just having lovely chats here. Got to scroll past all this. Here we go. We're diving deep. We just brought up Amir Marset Smith. Let's bring up some dumpster dive running backs here.
Is he healthy yet?
Yep. He is healthy and back practicing.
I mean,
it's you mark. So in waiver wire, you can like star it. You can flag the person. You can do a little, hey, let's keep our eye on this person. So you can filter and just look at that list. That's what you do with Kyren Williams. You're not adding him to a team. I don't even care if it's 16 teams. I don't think you're adding him. But I got to just put a little note. See what happens here. Okay, hey, we got some Chiefs love right back for you. We got some Cowboys fans in here for me. We got some Chiefs fans, legendary pest control here for you. Your pest control needs and your Chiefs fandom needs.
Love it. Absolutely love it. We need more Chiefs fans in here. Okay.
It's a Chiefs boys showdown. I think is that his Super Bowl prediction? Well, a little spicy on my side of things for the Cowboys side, but the Chiefs, maybe spicier than it was last year, but we're starting two here. A-Rob, Amon-Ra, and Sutton. Man, guys, Sutton every time. If you're questioning, Sutton and A-Rob. Are you with me?
Yeah, it's Sutton and A-Rob. Yeah.
Okay, you're scaring with these long pauses here. Guys, I just drafted, and I'm pretty confident I'm winning my league. Shout out to Kevin. I picked up Damian Pierce late round diamond. If you're getting Damian Pierce in the late rounds, that is a diamond. Fantastic job, Luis.
Yeah, I love that. Especially if you got it. So for all the people that got him late, hats off to you because you got an absolute, what I think is going to be a steal. And for people that even, I still have no problem with people that probably drafted him in the 5th or 6th round. I don't mind that.
Andre's building upon this Saquon trade for Mark Andrews, and I don't think it's getting any better. I mean, you do have Eckler and Aaron Jones, but I'm telling you, I kind of like that trio, and I think you're getting worse. You get better at tight end, sure, but I don't think you need Marquise Brown if you have Higgins, Cortland Sutton. I don't think you need to make that trade.
No, and I never really want to trade away running backs if I can help it because of the volatility of the position, how many of these guys can get hurt. So.
Yes, 100%. Killer Quicks must have been watching some Hard Knocks. Rodrigo, the rookie 6th round running back, has been balling out. Glad you have his jersey there. Hey, low-key excited about the Lions.
I am too. Like I mean, they're not going to make the playoffs or anything, but like I think they could win 7 or 8 games this year.
7 and 10. Give me 7 and 10.
Yeah, it would be a very good improvement. I think this team is heading in the right direction for sure. And I'm like, honestly, I didn't mention Jameson Williams. I probably should have. But Jameson Williams, I think, could have like a Odell Beckham type breakout. Maybe that's too hot. That could be way too hot. Like, Odell Beckham started the year whenever his rookie year started off first. So he had an injury, started off
4 games, slow, right?
Yeah, and then broke out in the second half. Like, I think that could be Jameson Williams.
Yeah, I mean, he was balling kind of from the get-go, honestly. He missed 4 weeks.
And then, he went off. Yeah, but so we'll see. Because Jameson Williams, I think, is kind of on that same type of trajectory. I think he'll probably miss the first 4 to 6 weeks, and then he'll return. So I like stashing him on IRs.
What do you think here? Kareem Hunt ownership projection on FanDuel. That's out of my realm here.
Sub 5%. Especially on FanDuel where it's half point PPR. So
I don't know if this is to our Super Bowl question, Titans and Saints. Maybe that's defenses. Maybe we're talking some defenses. King Reed, we're not. If this is for the Super Bowl question, we're not going here. No Titans, no Saints. Oh no, Titans and Saints D. Okay, better. Don't love the Titans. I like the Saints. You can rock the Saints against Atlanta.
Saints, yeah.
Top 5, top 6 defenses for us. Yes. All right, much better. Had me scared there. All right, Jason, thank you for rocking with us for so long. Appreciate that. Jumping in with, I don't think we've rated this team yet. Hurts, who we both really like. CMC, Connor. 2 flexes are Barkley and Elliott. My goodness. And then wide receiver. Okay, so here's where you're a little bit worse, right? Because you have such a strong running back core of 4 there. You have Terry McLaurin, Thielen. I'd probably do a pivot. I don't know if you need 4 running backs. I'd probably do a pivot and try and upgrade a little bit at wide receiver.
Yeah, because you are extremely thin. And did they say this is PPR? I don't think it says anywhere. Yeah. Especially in PPR, like I really want to try to start wide receivers in my flexes.
Yeah. Yep. Assuming you don't have like 4 studs, right? You probably don't need all 4 studs.
Yeah. So I think trying to flip one of the running backs for a wide receiver would be good.
All right. Cade asking chances of Saquon being a top 5 running back. And then he throws it out here for Walito. Maybe it's another burner account for Walito. I don't know. Michael Thomas being a top 5 wide receiver. I think the first one's not that crazy at all. I don't rank him that way. I think you're actually pretty close. I think you had Saquon at 6 for the season. You're pretty close to there. I'm at 8. That's fine. Michael Thomas being top 5 wide receiver.
0%.
Yeah, I don't. I'd put it at 5%. This is Colts for me. Colts are going to destroy the Texans, I believe.
I would go Colts.
I can't decipher what's being asked here.
I think did we ask who the rest? Oh, I think we asked him what his team was because he is.
That's correct. Okay, there we go. See, I just have a terrible memory. That's why Cody's so good at this. He just remembers all these minutes later. Yeah. Let me find what we were talking about here.
Oh, that's the one where he took. He has Mr. Trubisky as his quarterback.
Yeah, there we go. So it's Elijah Mitchell, Alvin Kamara, Devonte Adams, I'm going to guess, Sutton, Schultz, Edmonds. Yeah, you got to be able to make in a single quarterback league, somebody on that bench, you should be able to do that and Mitchell Trubisky and upgrade. Can you get Winston? I'd like Winston. Can you get Justin Fields, like Kev has said before? I think that upgrade would be well worth it where you're not damaging the good team you have around that. Oh, and he has Sterling Shepard and Marvin Jones. So 16 team, though. Remember that. So Andre, he's been talking about trying to maybe trade Saquon, bring back Mark Andrews. He's scared that T. Higgins and Sutton aren't good enough to be a wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2 duo. I think he was going to have, was it Hollywood coming back in that trade? But I don't think I don't have Hollywood ranked over T. Higgins or Sutton. So I don't think you improve that. You improve the depth, but you don't improve your wide receiver 1 or wide receiver 2.
Yeah, I mean, I think he said it's 10-man league, so you should easily be able to, through waivers and stuff like that, be able to add other options too.
Yeah.
No, not even close, in my opinion.
And that would be no on KJ Osborne being comparable to Josh.
I mean, heck, they just had a Jalen Reagor, man. I mean,
the dream survives.
Yeah.
Oh, man. All right, BT jumping in here from Twitch. Hurts, Jefferson, Keenan Allen, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Fournette, Chase, Edmonds, J.K. Dobbins, Boyd, Zach Ertz. It's 12-man PPR.
Yeah, I think it's really solid.
Running back, I'm a little nervous about.
You're super could be thin very very quickly if something were to happen to some of the running backs that you have, because Fournette, who could end up being a top 5 running back again this year.
Yeah.
If everything bounces his way, and he does end up getting all the pass catching work like he did last year and the goal line opportunities.
Yeah, I'll give it a B. That'll be the rating, the grade I'll give you.
I think it's probably like a B+. Because I love the wide receivers. Obviously love Justin Jefferson. Hurts, he has top 3 potential. Then Keenan Allen, I think is good. It's good with solid wide receiver 2. Amon-Ra St. Brown, I think, can be a solid wide receiver 2. And then Fournette. It really depends on what happens with Chase and J.K. Dobbins with this team.
Yeah. Who you got higher? You got Jalen Hurts over Lamar Jackson?
Jalen Hurts. I have him at 3, so.
Yeah. I have them neck and neck. I might have Lamar a smidge higher than him.
I can't. It seems just going to be so bad that they're going to cannibalize each other.
Yeah. He's asking about Seahawks backfield. Yeah, unless there's a couple injuries and it's just, hey, we're going to one guy like we saw at the end of last year. I mean, I do think Walker will take over eventually. I think he's probably going to be the better overall back.
I don't know. I don't think he can make that call. Because, I mean, what has Pete Carroll done in his career to make you think that he's going to do something like that? He just doesn't. And
doesn't what?
He's one of those guys that you have to prove it to me. I'm gonna lean on the vet. We saw the same thing with these situations play out. Unless Rashad Penny gets hurt, I think that's the only way.
That's what I'm saying.
Pete
Carroll didn't make that call. Pete Carroll didn't make that call. The call got made for him. Chris Carson had to start because Penny couldn't stay healthy. You know what I mean?
No, but he won the job at it. But he won the job out of training camp. He was the starting running back whenever that happened. He was the starter.
Yeah, I mean, that's not all that uncommon. But
he came out of nowhere when it happened. It wasn't like Chris Carson was established when that happened.
He finished the previous year, if I'm remembering correctly. He finished the previous year pretty strong. He was supposed to be kind of the incumbent starter. They draft first round. Everybody's bailing off Chris Carson. People are putting Rashad Penny as their running back 1 in Dynasty. You know who you are. Ball blast. But then, Chris Carson obviously kept it with some Penny injury. But I think Kenneth Walker is more talented than Penny. And eventually I think it'll show. Not early on. Luis, another question here. How are we feeling on the lineup? We got Burrow, CMC, Damian Harris, or Najee. I'm going to guess Damian Harris.
It's got to be Najee. Right?
You got Najee and CMC?
Whew. Oh, yeah, it's probably not. Good call. Yeah, so it's probably Damian Harris.
And Devonte
so if it
Adams.
is, you're definitely weak. You're definitely weak at your RB2. No doubt.
Yeah. But, I mean, he makes up for it at tight end and his wide receiver 2 and his flex.
Yeah. No, yeah. Overall, I still think it's a really strong team. You're just going to want to turn away.
This is probably like let's say it's a hero RB where he's got Harris, he's got Pollard. Maybe he also has Stevenson. He's got just a handful of shots that he's just rotating in that running back too. And if that's the strategy, I love your wide receivers. I love your tight end. Quarterback's fine. Broncos defense, I'm in on that. If we got easy matchups in the first 4 or 5 weeks, I'm in. Fantasy Guru's asking, is that an 8-man? That's a good lineup.
Travis K. James, I actually don't mind that either. I think he could be because I think with the Tim Patrick injury, he could end up being he's going to be the number 3 wide receiver in this offense. So I think it's definitely possible.
No, new Bears wide receiver, right? JJ.
Need help with who to start. Full PPR 8-8 team league. Mike Evans. Or Mike Williams, sorry. Mike Williams. Who's Mike Monty? Or T. Higgins?
My guess it's just David Montgomery, maybe.
Yeah, so T. Higgins.
Correct.
Oh, yeah, Monty. Yeah, meant just Monty. Sorry. Yeah. Saw that. Okay.
Where are we at? We caught back up yet?
Almost. Fantasy. Yeah, I'm in a house with my girlfriend's fam. My first time ever doing fantasy. I'm low key nervous because everyone has some monster lineups. Yeah, we talked about this last week. And I said the same thing. Like people I'm not saying people here, but I'm just saying in general. Like especially in comments, I'll see people or in other Twitter and stuff like that, where people try to down people for playing in smaller leagues. And I'm like, do you know how difficult it is to play in a 6-man league or an 8-man league where everybody's team's stacked and you have to make these decisions every week with lineup construction and who you're going to start.
Oh, it's worse.
Yeah, it's tough. It's a lot easier to be able to make call in a 12-man league, really truly make a decision versus in a 6-man or 8-man league where everybody's team stacked and trying to decide, what stud am I going to start over this stud every week,
It's worse because a lot of the decisions we make on Sundays when people are asking us, it's flex level, right? It's who can maybe get the touchdown, who maybe has a little bit safer volume. But it's not like most of these flex level guys are going off. Every now and then they do. But what you're talking about is you're deciding between Higgins and Cortland Sutton. One of those guys is going off about every other week, right? Every third week. And so that's where the stakes are just so much higher. If you sit Higgins on the week that he has 2 touchdowns and 120 yards, and they don't throw to Jamar Chase at all, you're kicking yourself when you sit him for Sutton.
Yeah, so this rock with us all year. We'll help you out. See if we can guide you to the playoffs. First year playing fantasy. Anyways, Anthony, what quarterbacks will you guys start this week? I'm going Derek Carr.
I don't want to start either of those guys, but between them, I'd go Carr.
I think we've talked about this a while. I have Mike Gesicki as my starting tight end. Should I drop him? Yes. Drop Mike Gesicki and add Irv Smith.
Yes, Will. We've said this. You're dropping Mike Gesicki. You're getting Irv Smith. Make it happen tonight.
Yeah. Cameron, who would you start between Elijah Moore or Christian Kirk? I'm going Elijah Moore on this one.
I like Elijah Moore. I don't like Joe Flacco throwing to Elijah Moore. Give me Christian Kirk.
Owen, hey y'all, need to start one. Mike Williams, T. Higgins. I think it's the same guy.
Same guy? Yeah.
Yeah, I think he just jumped over to YouTube.
Oh yeah.
So I think we answered that already, right? I said
yep.
T. Higgins.
Yep, T. Higgins. Check.
Which do you guys possibly choose? I'm gonna go Eagles on this.
I will go Eagles as well, with Browns as a close second.
Agreed. Legendary again, bro. They all went way early. Yeah, I could see that in a 16-team league, that people being the fear of missing out when you're in a 16-team league, that everyone's going to draft them all. So I could see quarterbacks going much earlier in a 16-team league than you would see in a traditional 10 or 12. So it does make sense. Should I drop Chris Godwin for either Michael Gallup, Jarvis Landry, or Chris Olave? No. Absolutely not.
Nope.
No, Luis. We are not dropping Chris Godwin.
Chad agrees with us. Good work, Owen, Travis, helping him out.
Jack, would you start Bateman over Michael Thomas?
Yes.
Jason, I have Kadarius Toney on my bench. Russell Gage, DeAndre Hopkins, Rondell Moore, and Treylon Burks.
Is he asking if he should be sitting Toney for one of those players?
No, he's asked a question. He's asked a lot of questions. I don't know what exactly. I don't remember off the top of my head which one that went with.
Well, you just switched.
Kate again. So I got Jamar Chase, Najee, Barkley, Sutton, Kyle Pitts, and Penny. Does this team have championship power?
Yeah, we saw that team before, right?
Yeah.
He saw that. Yeah, I'm down with that team.
Yeah, hey, I have Josh Allen. Who would you start? Judy or Gabe Davis? My opponent this week has a good team, so I must probably need the highest ceiling possible. The highest ceiling possible is Gabe Davis.
I heard he has 4 touchdown potential ceiling.
Yeah, well, it's possible. Flex spot this week: Kirk, Landry, Hines, Tolbert. This is Kirk.
It is, yes.
Uncle Mike Sutton.
Scariest Kadarius.
Love that.
Are we doing that? I'm in.
Woods, Melvin Gordon, or Mooney at flex. This is Sutton.
Let's go, Uncle Mike. Yeah, that's Sutton for sure.
I really want to say Mooney, but I can't. I'm not saying no way.
I kind of want to say scariest Kadarius just because of Uncle Mike tagging him as such.
Yeah. Rate this team: Brady, Henry, Saquon, Javonte Williams, Pittman, Amon-Ra, Cole Kmet, Brees Hall, Drake London. Talk about some running backs. Love that. So I'm guessing this probably got Derrick Henry early, and then probably second, third, you went Saquon and Javonte. And then I'm guessing you would have got Michael Pittman late fourth, and then Amon-Ra fifth. I think that's probably how it went. But that's,
Yeah.
I mean, you know me, I'm not high on Derrick Henry.
That's
but
fine.
I think overall with Saquon, Javonte, love that a lot. I really like this team a lot. I think the bench is really good. Love that you're probably having Brees Hall on the bench. Or you can have the option because you also have Elijah Moore, who has a very high ceiling. Drake London could go off like Christian Kirk. Very, very, very good team.
Cameron, I think this is a B+ for me. And about before the bye week start, 4 or 5, and you're gonna have Pittman or Amon-Ra or somebody at wide receiver with a bye. I think you need to flip Henry. I think you need to flip one of your stud running backs and wait for Brees to come along, and he can be that running back 3, and then you need to improve that wide receiver 2, is what I would do. But I like it. Rating the team, yeah, B+ for me.
Oh, okay. I was confused for a second. So, Luis, my bench is Damian Pierce, Knox, Trey Lance, Godwin, Stevenson. Yes. Drop the Bills defense and drop Trey Lance, especially in an 8-man league. Who is this quarterback?
Wasn't it Hurts?
Burrow. So, yes, even still, drop Trey Lance. Drop the Bills defense.
Yeah. Bills are going to tear it up on defense against the Titans and the Dolphins. I mean, yeah, you're not going to get them back most likely, but it's what it is.
Jason, you guys told me to trade Ezekiel Elliott. Did we say someone to trade Ezekiel Elliott? I don't believe we told him. Did we tell? Oh, he's probably talking about. Oh, I bet you. Think I remember. Man, this is gonna take me a while to scroll back up.
Jason, we have the memory of goldfish.
There it is. I have Jalen Hurts, McCaffrey, Connor.
Yeah, 4.
Elliott.
I mean, Zeke Elliott's going to get you the least. I think he's the lowest consensus guy out of McCaffrey, Connor, and Barkley, and then Zeke, obviously. I think he's going to get you the least. I would shoot for Connor. Let's say he goes off. Right? We have that big game week 1 against the Chiefs. Right? They're Chiefs, Arizona.
Yeah. It's just you probably need to do something with your wide receivers. Like having Terry McLaurin as your wide receiver 1 is certainly suboptimal. Like that is not what we're looking for. Thielen as your wide receiver 2, like it's just down the line. You need an elite wide receiver. Like you need, or at least a very, very strong wide receiver. you have the running back depth with McCaffrey and Connor and Barkley and Elliott. Like you have four great, you have you have three really good options at running back and one that's very average, and Ezekiel Elliott. I think with the name of Ezekiel Elliott in a 10-team league, especially if he can do anything productive week
He
one.
won't week one. You know what I'm saying?
Will be unfortunate, but you need to, over the next probably 3 or 4 weeks, really try to make a move for a wide receiver. Maybe it's not week one. After week one, don't panic for anything, but you really want to try to add another wide receiver because you are extremely thin at wide receiver. And I think trading Zeke is probably going to be the guy that you would least worry about long term of like, oh, I lost this player. Now, you're going to regret it, right? Like you could trade Saquon and Saquon could be a top 3 running back this year and you just kick yourself for trading him.
Yeah.
So start 2, Gordon, Ayuk, Jacoby, Claypool, and Garrett Wilson. I'm going the first 2.
Ashton, thank you so much for the $2 holla. I'm going to go with Ayuk and Melvin Gordon as well. Where did
y'all are still going grinding? Yeah, every question. Would you trade Michael Thomas and ETN for Kamara? I'm going to say no.
No, I don't think so. I don't want to get back somebody. I'm fine with getting worse at wide receiver. You take a shot on a high-end flex guy, but I need somebody else back with Kamara.
Trey Lance, Dalvin Cook, Leonard Fournette, J.K. Dobbins, Ramondre Stevenson, Alexander Mass, Darnell Mooney, Gabriel Davis, Kadarius Toney, Chris Olave, Jackson. Rate his team. So Cook and Fournette, great options. J.K. Dobbins, you can go either way with that. Ramondre Stevenson is very good depth. Alexander Madison.
I'm nervous about that wide receiver group. So again, you guys are crushing running back. Like whoever has been telling you to just make sure you load up on running backs, you guys have been following through. I mean, your running backs are fantastic.
I think with this group though, at wide receiver, like we've talked about, like Darnell Mooney has the potential, I think, to hit like low end wide receiver 1.
But I think you're on an island with that. Like I don't see that at all.
Yeah, no, I'm probably alone. I don't think it's that crazy of a take. All it really needs is Justin Fields to take another step forward this year, and if he does, I think it's right there in the range of possibilities for Darnell Mooney. And there's nobody else there to throw the ball to. It's him and Cole Kmet.
So that's high end, right? Like he does fantastic. Everything goes right. He's wide receiver 12, right? Gabe Davis, he's probably going to be a top 24-ish guy. So
yeah, so you have those 2 guys that you're good with. Kadarius Toney, if he can, take that step forward, that second-year leap that a lot of people are expecting. I mean, he could be okay. Yes, you don't have the elite option here. You don't have that like great option. Maybe instead of you took Dalvin, maybe you took a different wide receiver, or probably where you took J.K. Dobbins. Maybe you took Michael Pittman, or I don't know. It depends on when you drafted for J.K. Dobbins, something like that. But the running backs, I think, are good. I think Trey Lance has an incredible ceiling. I think there's a lot of upside with the wide receiver.
This is a risky line,
yes,
when you think about it. Right?
It could also it could also go the other direction.
For sure.
You're not happy with the way this turns out.
Right. Trey Lance, a lot of potential. We got a floor there, right? We've got J.K. Dobbins, right? What's he going to look like? When is he going to look like himself again, right? Wide receivers, you already have some question marks and bumping guys up farther than they probably should be. The running backs are fantastic. The tight end, I'm good with. So, hey, we skipped our Dez here. Should I keep Kittle injured day by day, or start Higbee? I mean, you're starting Kittle if he's going.
But he didn't. Well, if he wants to start Higbee, he wouldn't have that option. You have to do it by tomorrow.
I'm not worried about starting Higbee.
I'm waiting on Kittle.
Yeah.
If there's going to be some other options out there.
You don't need to start Higbee. He's not that
for 1 week
level.
Yeah.
Gerald Everett, we've said it. If everyone else is gone, he's going to be there for you. If not, Irv, Cole Kmet, Kev says Njoku. There's going to be other guys there.
Yeah. Who should I pick up for Trey Lance at the Bills defense? I only had them because of my bye weeks. We would need to know who else is out there. It's hard to say, but you definitely should drop both those guys. It's crazy left for receivers. I have Kadarius Toney, Russell Gage, DeAndre Hopkins, Rondell Moore,
for his other wide receivers. So going back to this conversation with Thielen and TMC, yeah, I'd love to see you have a wide receiver one. Can you go after a Sutton, a Pittman, somebody who's kind of a back end wide receiver one in our ranks? That's what I would do.
Yeah.
If somebody offered you Sutton for James Conner, would you do it? If you had his lineup?
Depends on who it was. Yeah. Depends on who I can get my hands on, honestly.
You're getting Sutton. You have to give away James Conner. You have...
Oh, Cortland Sutton for James Conner?
Uh-huh. Like that's what kind of offer he's probably going to be close to getting.
Would you do Michael Pittman for Zeke?
Oh yeah, I think so.
With that roster, I think right now I would go to whoever had Michael Pittman and I would offer him Zeke.
Yeah, because those guys are drafted both in the third round, but you're loaded at running back. Like you're not worried about, hey, I'm taking a wide receiver in the same round. Like if you can upgrade, and it's not even going to really affect your flex because you're just moving in McLaurin into the flex, right? Or Thielen into the flex. It's not a huge down kick flex wise, I don't think. But then you have that up kick in the wide receiver one points.
Yeah. Okay, trade for Justin Jefferson with Jamar Chase and Kittle. I mean, depends on what it would take to get him.
Is he saying? Yeah. Is he saying, "Hey, I have Jamar Chase and Kittle. Should I also trade for Justin Jefferson?" Probably not.
It seems like
probably not.
Or if he's saying, "All right, would you trade Jamar Chase and Kittle for Justin Jefferson?" The answer would be no.
No. You want the Chase Kittle side.
Yeah. Would you trade Amon-Ra St. Brown for Brandon Cooks? I feel like Cooks has a safer floor, but considering my strength is my stacked running backs. Anyway, I like the potential ceiling for Amon-Ra. I think you can. I mean, I don't think it's like I think Brandon Cooks right now probably wins the trade, but I don't think it's like egregious.
Yeah, I've got Brandon Cooks as a top 20 guy. I'm definitely on the Cooks side here.
Yeah, any suggestions for kickers other than Tucker? Yes. You probably are never gonna you should never draft Justin Tucker because he's always going to be drafted higher. You should always draft a kicker in the last round. But kickers that I really like this year for guys like Harrison Bucker, Evan McPherson, those guys are obvious. Matt Gay, Daniel Carlson, Tyler Bass, Jake Elliott, Dustin Hopkins, Matt.
Don't give him 15 because then he's going to ask which one should he get. Give your top 3.
Well, I'm going down the line of guys that I would look to take, and I'm literally just going down the lines. That's how I'd probably rank.
Okay. Say your top 3 again.
Well, Evan McPherson, Harrison Bucker, and then if you're wanting a name that's a little bit lower, Jake Elliott.
Yeah, and I go Daniel Carlson and Tyler Bass.
You could also go watch the video that we have for kickers.
Plug that 6K video or whatever it's at.
Hey, people love their kickers. All right, I have a question for you guys. Bad idea to start Swift RB2 at Amon-Ra Flex. Full PPR. It really just depends on what other options you would have. Like, what does the rest of the team look like? I think you can start both of them for sure. If I had to make a choice, like if I'm sitting one of them, it's Amon-Ra St. Brown. We're not sitting DeAndre Swift.
Correct.
But it would just depend on what does the rest of the team look like.
Yep.
So you guys think Chase is higher than Jefferson or adding Kittle is not a good idea?
Again, Kate, I'm not 100% sure what you're asking. Are you saying you would trade Chase and Kittle to get Jefferson? And if that's what you're saying, I think that's too much to trade. Like the difference between Jefferson and Chase isn't Kittle. It needs to be less than that, is what I believe you're saying. And we would say, don't do that.
Okay. Trace, Juju, McLaurin, or Godwin week 1? I'm going Godwin.
Juju, baby.
I rank him Godwin, Juju, the McLaurin. Anthony, will do. Thanks a lot. Jason, another hot take. Dalton Schultz, number 1 tight end this year. That's a bridge too far for me, but I love Dalton Schultz this year. I have been driving the Dalton Schultz bandwagon all offseason. But I think top 3 is definitely in the range of possibility. I wouldn't even be shocked if we got to number 2, but number 1 seems a little bit a bridge too far. But
you just need the touchdowns, right?
One spot really is just that huge of a difference, you know? Like
just needs the touchdowns. I mean, the target's going to be there, right? Target's going to be there. He doesn't get crazy yardage, but it's the touchdowns.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of players out there. I could pick up. So this is for the Trey Lance and then the Bills defense. I would add Mooney for sure, and then probably what?
This is an 8 team.
Yeah.
I don't know. Call me crazy, but I want to keep the best defense. Like, are any of these guys going to be better than the wide receivers he listed?
What do you mean?
No.
But yeah, but he dropped. But he has 2 defenses. Do you really need 2 defenses?
I get it, but drop the Bills. Bills, in my opinion, are going to be the top scoring defense. It's just they have a horrendous Week 1 matchup. Then they get the Titans, and then they got another playable Dolphins. Like their next 3 or 4 have some pretty good matchups. I get it. We're always saying don't keep 2 defenses, but this is an 8 team league. You're going to have somebody else out there. I don't think I want to drop what I think is going to be the number 1 defense.
I don't think they're going to be anywhere. I don't think they're going to be number 1 defense, but I think you could definitely drop the Bills. I think there's a lot of
that secondary is going to get some interceptions, and that front line is going to get some sacks. I'm in on the Bills D. What were they last year? Weren't they the top?
They were the top scoring defense, but that changes every year. I don't really care about that part.
Actually, Dallas was last year. Not even close by a whole 2 points. Yeah, Bills are 4th. Yeah, I mean, it's close. It probably doesn't matter. You have an 8 team, so you're going to find another good defense. Yeah, go with Mooney. Mooney's the best of that group. And then Lazard.
All right, I think I'm going to change it. Yeah, I don't think you need to make any changes. I think you're fine with the way your team is. Should I trade Waddle, Stevenson for Renfrow and Edmonds? No, I would keep Waddle and Renfrow.
Correct.
Are you worried about Dak's lack of receiving weapons this year at all? I could pick up Kirk Cousins and drop Gainwell just in case. I think you stick with Dak.
I think you stick with Dak. I am a little worried early in the year until Gallup comes back, but he's still going to be right there with Kirk where I don't know who's going to score more each week, and you're just going to regret it, I bet.
Would you rather roster Kenny Gainwell or Jeff Wilson? Kenneth Gainwell for me.
Jeff Wilson.
All right.
I like Kenny G, though.
We started at just right after 9 o'clock. It is now midnight. Almost a 3-hour show. Hey,
this isn't our longest. This isn't our longest, but definitely.
No, we've went a little bit longer before, but we got through every single question. Again, if you guys are new here, hit that like and subscribe button. We really appreciate it. We are going to be here all season. We're going to be here live pretty much every night for the most part. There's a few nights that we're not, but other than that, almost every night we're live. We'll be live every Wednesday to answer every question you guys have. Trade questions, especially as the season starts to progress. Waivers. We'll be going live every Sunday morning to answer the same questions. And then Sunday night we'll do our waiver show, which we do at halftime of Sunday Night Football every single week. And then we have Wednesdays, we have Thursdays DFS, we have our prop show on Friday or Saturday nights. Those are live. So again, be sure to hit that like, subscribe button. Be sure to jump in the Discord if you have not already. You can go to any one of our regularly published videos. You can find that there. But I appreciate it. I hope we see you all again on Sunday or next week. We will be here every single week. And like I said, our goal is to answer every one of your questions. We do not stop until all of them are answered. I know a lot of the big channels around here do not do that. We still do. So appreciate all the support. Really do. We have been popping off. I really appreciate everything. We will see you guys tomorrow night. We'll be live again tomorrow night. I will be. Robbie won't be. But I will be back here tomorrow night. See you guys very soon. Have a good night. Bye.